True. Like, yeah, they feel like they're only just good for that one event. I mean, there are obviously some exceptions, like you got like Roger and Cross Guild and stuff that are like really good, but yeah, you're right. A lot of the anime exclusive stuff, it just feels really bad. Like, I feel like the anime exclusive legends, they probably should be in like normal tickets. Or just don't do them.
Or don't do them. Like, I think at this point, the metal. I think the biggest thing here is that there are so many like avenues to make these characters able to be acquired outside of like the Sugar Fest itself. And I think at this point, the fact that even like if you want to throw it all the way back, looking at Luffy Law Kid Final Taps, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, the fact that Final Tap Kid hasn't been super old is already still.
Surely that's this news. Surely it's this news.
But like, you have that, and then secondly to that, like the fact that none of them have been like they're ancient in reality, like they're 2021. Like the fact that none of them have been made available, like in any fashion whatsoever, and then even like going further back than that, like I guess technically, I think it was Odin. As a new player, you could get Odin from like logging in every day, or like for 10 days or whatever.
I think that is still a thing. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
I think it's Yamato now, isn't it?
Yamato's from the banner. I think it is.
No, I'm pretty sure they updated that, and it's like if you log in 20 something days, it's in Yamato now.
I think you're right.
But like even like Roger's unavailable. I think he's available in the banner, the Head Start banner, which is okay, I guess. But like again. That's also a problem in my opinion, and like it's that kind of idea. It's like you want to do exclusivity, like that's fine, go for it. Like by all means, like that's how you make money because you funnel people into those game modes where no one really wants to be a part of it per se. But like there needs to be some improvement in terms of cycling, like making these characters available in a more I think what they I've solved the problem. Here's how
here we go.
Here's how you solve the problem, right? You make so you have consistently existing banners. You have a constantly existing TM banner, a constantly existing Kazuna banner, a constantly existing Rumble banner, and a constantly existing Annie/Super Sugar Fest banner. And then over time, you add characters to that banner and maybe remove old ones or just leave it as it is. And they're perpetual. So like, I'm not saying that you're going to have a TM banner that's going to immediately have, TM Stussy available on it now. But maybe you have TM Legends from the start of the game until 2021 available on that banner. And then it gives players an opportunity to go and pull on those banners. Or maybe you remove it from the game modes, but then you put it in terms of exclusivity. Maybe have all of those units available on one perpetually existing banner. There's
I feel like
no steps in the banner at all, so nothing's guaranteed. It's just like it exists as an opportunity to get these characters if you want to do so. That's kind of the end of it. I think that's the biggest gripe, is that there's no opportunity to acquire any of these characters if you don't pull on those respective banners. Plain and simple.
Yeah. There's also the fact that, so I hate always comparing it to Dokkan, but the fact that when Dokkan, like, they bring out a new shiny unit, everyone wants it, then the unit doesn't come back for like fucking months. Could be 4, 5, 6 months. The next time that character comes back, you can use your Sugo medals or whatever to buy the unit. To buy the unit when it comes back. Like, I think that's really cool. I mean, like, even if you limit it, you can only buy the character once. So if your character's got like Super Tandem or whatever, you can't just max it out with medals or whatever. Like, I'd be fine with that. Like, a character like Stussy, for example, like, that character's interesting because I don't think... Did Stussy have a rush or a premium potential ability?
Nah, she didn't. But she's good. She's really good.
Yeah, Stussy's fantastic. I thought that she was a great addition, but the fact that, like, we have to wait until she's, like, back on a random TM banner, whenever that is going to be.
And most of the time you'll wait for, like, one of those Super Sugo Treasure Map banners. That'd be, like,
yeah, remember when Green Bull came out, and then, like, he didn't come back for, like, 3-4 months?
Yeah, Usopp's the same.
It's like, he's not even good enough
to
justifiably not have him, like, that's the problem. Like, I don't get why there's such a runway between them. Like, okay, I understand. Okay, Stussy came out this month, or whatever it is. Maybe don't make her available in the next banner. But the banner after that, 100% she should be available. Especially with the new TM structure, where Part 1 has, I think it's pretty much every single TM Legends available in Part 1, besides, like, maybe the last 2 or so. Like,
yeah,
we're going to keep churning. And then the continued problem with that is, with a limited amount of Legends per part or per banner, you're gonna fall into the exact same cycle that caused all of these TM parts and banners to exist, where you're gonna have more than 30 TM Legends appear, and as such, you're gonna have to go back to splitting them or removing the old ones. Or like, so there's so many layers deep to like these problems that like.
There's also the major issue that I feel like it was touched up on. I don't know where it was touched up on. Someone mentioned it somewhere, but just the pure like quality of the Sugofest exclusives that we get. Where it's like the normal Legends are basically rare recruits now, and we only just hope for the Super Sugos to come out. Like, I hate that. And it's also comes down to, like, there's so many factors that go into that. Obviously, the fact that, like, just the pure fact that the Super Sugos are so valuable and that they're so rare compared to normal Legends, which are readily available. And then also just the sheer volume of Legends that we get. So they always have to release, like, a Legend for a new game mode or whatever. And you're right, it's just, like, the level of quality of these Legends are just, like, rare recruits. And then you use them for that one piece of content, and you basically never use them again unless one niche specific piece of content comes out.
Yeah.
Because they don't boost these characters for that long anymore either, which is, again, another layered issue on top of it. The boosted list for all these pieces of content is absolutely dog shit.
Yeah.
It's really hard for new players to get into the game. There's just, like, so many compounding issues in the game, and they all, like, intertwine with each other, just make the game a really bad experience.
It is, and I think the issue... The problem with all of it is that Bandai looks at things from a band-aid, like it's band-aid, you know, unironically. Like it's a bandage, it's a bandage solution thing. It's like instead of like, and a lot of this like stuff appears in like computing classes or programming or whatever it is. It's like instead of like diagnosing and resolving the problem, you kind of have a hot fix or a band-aid solution to kind of cover the issue for a little bit of time. But then the problem with the band-aid is that eventually like it peels off, and then the problem re-exist, and then since you've tried to like band-aid a bunch of things, you're never going to get back to fixing the original problem. Like, I think the fundamental issue is that there are too many Legends. I think that issue, so like reducing the amount of Legends, I think genuinely potentially resolves a lot of problems. However, to play devil's advocate, if you're reducing how many Legends you're releasing, that means that content is going to probably go back to being that weird difficulty where having a Legend as the main booster makes content easy because the captain effect. Exactly right. And it's like, you might make the argument like, oh, but in Kazuna, the rare recruit gets the boost captain effect. Like, with all due respect, I'm not using the rare recruit as the captain in a Kazuna fight. I'm just going to use him as a friend captain on my crew as well. So again, it's the same issue.
There's also like, I don't know, because, okay, this is kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking this for a while. And I was like wondering, like, we used to have it so good. Like, I feel like Treasure Cruise, like around, especially around like the first like couple of treasure maps, or like when Global, when before the merge, Global's treasure maps were really good.
Yeah.
And when yes, I do feel like the merge was a major issue because the Japanese player base, they were able to get away with so much with the Japanese player base because they didn't really care as much, or they didn't voice their opinions as much. Whereas Global is always extremely vocal about their issues. And of course, as we've seen, even like with the Uta issue, where they will listen to the Japanese player base over the Global player base. So it just feels really bad that when we do the merger, we get Japanese formatting for all of the events rather than the global format, where we had, like, our TM boosted list was so fucking massive, it was crazy. And they were boosted for, like, we had, like, everything boosted for, like, so long, like, multiple months of, like, all these legends, and, like, random older legends were just somehow boosted in events and stuff. Like, it was so much easier to play the event back then. I feel like, I mean, that's another big issue. I feel like the game's way too difficult right now.
No, the game's sucks. Look at the Waffle event. The candy waffle. Let's look at the candy waffle.
Yeah, that candy event's crazy.
It's I don't even want to get started. I saw one screenshot and I was like, it's Super Boss.
Yeah.
All that to get a +1 recovery candy. All that effort to get a +1 recovery candy that might dupe because I don't have the new Uta. And mind you, the percentage chance to get a duplicate drop if you have all the other freaking units and you're using them. I think it's not even the booster system where it's like if you own the unit. It's the booster system if you use the unit, I believe.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, it's a 5% rate.
5%. So if I'm using it, so
why
I need to
bother?
think.
Yeah, exactly.
So a 1 in 20, like, and even if I have 6 units in my crew, that turns into a 6 in 20, a 3 in 10. So I have a 30% chance to do 1 candy. I could right now, this whole call, I could record myself playing Coliseum, or not even playing, pressing the auto button, hey, V1 Kaido, what's up? And I would get so much more candy
100%.
out of it, plus EXP, plus berries, plus raid points, you can sell the drop as well, plus tomes. Like that's an infinitely better use of your own time and stamina.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the funniest part of
is the chopper missions for this event?
Yes, there are. There's 20. You have to clear it 20 times, and the chopper missions don't
tell me it's fucking luck drops.
It's not luck drops. It is like plus 10, plus 20, and plus 30 gold candy. There's no gems. There's no bounty. So there's literally no reason to play the event. We went from having an event that was already solved, by the way, because you had Shirahoshi, you had Hillyuk, and Drey, you had Chopper, and now that Chopper has a 6+, Shirahoshi has a 6+, all that kind of stuff. So the quest got even easier, as a matter of fact. We went from having a quest that you could farm as much as you wanted. I mean, sorry, not much as you wanted, 100 times.
Yeah.
Like, where you actually get thousands of candy if you actively played it 1,000 times. To now, a co-op quest that gives you, I think, 2 stones. Whoa. I was supposed to get another fucking 198 more of those to do a goddamn multi. Like, you know, and then like 6 candy. Like, Tony fucking put a photo in, he got 7 recovery candy.
Yep.
Like, what pipes are we smoking here? I did want to point out, I pulled up the booster list for TM Kizaru, OG one. You know the legends?
Shit.
You know the legends that were boosted on that one?
Let us know.
V1 Marco, Usopp 6-star N6+, a Dog Storm, V1 Shanks, V2 Lucci, Legend Lucy, V2 Ray, V2 Doflamingo, Frankie, Robin, Luffy Ace, V2 Shanks, V1 Kizaru, and Buggy.
What?
Hell yeah.
What was the release for that?
I think it was the V2 Kuzan and V2 Akainu.
Yes, I believe it was.
But then the best part about that was that you have to take it a step back because there was no releases. There was no legend releases. You had Beckman as a 2x booster. You had Kuma as a 1.5x, and you had Scratchman to Pooh. 4-star and 5-star, by the way, were also separately boosted.
Yeah, remember when you could do that with the unevolved rare recruits? That shit was crazy.
I don't want to say, at the end of the day, like, you can easily wear rose-tinted glasses and think that everything in the past was better. Like,
but it actually was.
But it was in this situation. Like, right now, like, if I go look at, like, what is it? Orochi and Kanjuro. My teams for Orochi and Kanjuro, mind you, I didn't have any of the legends, and my teams were a 1.6x boost, 1.95, a 1.2, a 1.25. Oh, what does that tell you? I'm not using any booster units because those mini bosses are deplorable. If you don't have all of them, I think there was a few good points that Porky made. So one of them was what you said, Todd, where it's like a legend is equivalent to a rare recruit now. A Super Sugo Fest / anniversary is equivalent to a legend. And then rare recruits are fodder. Rare recruits. If I ask you right now, Todd, tell me what like half the rare recruits this year did, or like if you could off the top of your head, you couldn't. Right?
I'm so fucking cooked. I
rare
can't.
Recruits, no one knows what rare recruits like right now. Hey, Stump, let's play a game.
Oh, let's do it.
Rare recruit Blackman. Jesus Christ, apologies. Blackbird and Shiryu, the quick unit. They're driven powerhouse. What do?
They do an 80% HP cut, and they reflect the damage from the 80 times, I think.
30 times? Close, though. You got that part. You got the HP cut, though.
And then they do a 3-turn color affinity or something like that.
Hey, pretty close. He's actually kind of binked it.
Damn, I would have been cooked. I wouldn't know.
But then you missed out on removes poison and burn.
Okay.
If you have a color affinity, boosts it. If your HU is below 25%, like...
Yeah.
Like, it's come on, man. Like,
whereas back in the day, like you remember these rare recruits.
Yeah,
like
you got
Robin
Usahachi,
and Sai Robin, and
you got
Nami. Hello.
I can still tell you what Beppo does. Not Beppo. What's his name? Bobbins does to a T. I can tell you Sailor abilities for crying out loud.
Like, and that's not to say like you need to memorize these units right. You know what I mean? Like, it's not to say that, but it's also like, I think there's a big part of Treasure Cruise is that obviously it's carried by the IP, but nothing is memorable anymore when it comes to anything that releases. Like,
except for the Super Zugos.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and even then, some of the time you look at these units and you're just like, well, they exist. That's cool. Yeah. I'll pull for them just to have them. Like, that's great. And that's a shit mentality to have, by the way. Like, but that's, again, it just adds on to this whole idea of, like, we're, like, layering on top of the issues that already exist instead of addressing the problems head on. Like, I think, like, a lot of people's quote-unquote solutions are very unreasonable. It's like, give us 1 million gems. Oh, fuck, I love that. I want as many gems as I can. But it's like...
Hey, we wouldn't say no.
Yeah. But you have to... There needs to be a level of realism. I was going to say realism. Realism when it comes to actually, like, answering these kinds of problems. Like, I think at a base value, every single reward has to be doubled. Bare minimum doubled. If not, add a 0 onto everything. Like, you know... That's a starting point. Like, yeah. I think the other part is, like, I think I made a point a while ago where it's like, if we're averaging, like, let's say 6 legends a month, right? Mm-hmm. At the worst possible probability, that requires you to get 7.5 thousand gems. Which is...
I think it's like, I think it's a little bit less, but even still, like, it's around 7,000, I reckon. Because, like, if you're taking into consideration, what, the 25...
Yeah, no, you're right. Sometimes
even still, though, like, it's still bad. Like, it's still... Because I think I was talking to... I can't remember who I was talking to about it. I was like, yeah, it's like 7,500. And they were like, oh, actually, it's more like 7,000. And I was like, still, like, it's beside the point.
At least 7,000 gems.
A month.
At least.
Let's say 7,000 gems, right? All right, so this is Australian dollars, right? 300 gems is the best gem pack. So let's assume that every gem pack's 300 gems, right? Divide that by 1.5999, $160, which is already insane. That's $1.87 per gem. Multiply that by 7,000. You need 13,000. That looks wrong. No, that's fucking right, actually. Yeah.
It's
13,000 fucking dollars. Oh, sorry, gems per dollar. Oh. I don't know.
That's so much money, dude. That's so much money.
Like, you know, I thought I was wrong, but that might be like a wrong count. But you know what I mean? Like, if you're basically every dollar you spend nets you in Australian dollars. Every dollar you spend nets you 1.87 gems on a good day when it's 300 gem packs. Which don't even get me started with the sales. They aren't sales, mate. I know by technical terms it's a sale, sure, but it's not I'm not getting. You're just giving me more product.
No, we only get sales during anniversary when we get like there's that one pack that's like 50 gems or 100 gems for like a super duper discount whenever the fuck they do that.
One of them.
Yeah.
Like, I think like one issue that hasn't that isn't kind of brought up is like people are actually, including me, and a lot of people, are very much willing to spend money on Treasure Cruise. Like, that's the crazy part, right? Like,
sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah. It's like, I think a lot of the time, like, when you come up with all these problems with like a gacha game or whatever, people aren't willing to spend money. Like, oh, stop spending. But it's like, a lot of us are like, we like One Piece. We like the game. Mm-hmm. We actually, like, unironically, the 3 people here, we've been around since fucking, like, almost, I mean, I'm not from day dot, but I know Todd is, and I'm pretty sure Stump might be as well.
No, I'm like 2.5 anniversary.
Okay, so I'm like first anniversary. Todd's from the very beginning, right? Like, and we've all played the game from the very start. We've all spent easily tens of thousands. Easily.
Yeah, I don't even want to know.
Like,
yeah, see, I do my taxes every year, so I do know, so it's bad.
Yeah, I
mean, like from the beginning, like I would not.
Oh no, not from the beginning. No, just from making content wise. But like, if I had to add all that up,
and we've been like, you know, and I think the funny part is we're still willing to. So it's like you have like a balance of like, I think like that's kind of why I always keep bringing it up, where you either make the multis cheaper or you make gems more readily available. And that's not to say you have to give every player 5,000 gems a month, although I'd take it with open arms. But it's more like there has to come a point where someone needs to start doing the mathematical calculations and start showing that, like, it's not feasible. And I think the sad part, which we probably should have brought up at the very beginning, is that One Piece Treasure Cruise is a game that is developed for a Japanese audience. The global version is a byproduct of that. So it does not matter what you feel and whatever it is. And that isn't to say not to give feedback and not to provide, you know, your opinions and stuff. But it's more like Japanese people, it is more part. It is much. It is a much larger part of their culture and society to spend money more frequently on hobbies and interests and games and gambling and all that kind of stuff. It is way more ingrained in their society, and it is not taboo. So like them spending $13,000 to us, it's fucking mental, obviously, but to them, it's more not realistic, but it's maybe more approachable. I suppose.
It's probably a little more accepted, maybe, in their culture.
You don't feel as worse, right? When I buy a gem pack, I want to jump off a building, mate. 'Cause I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, what a waste of money, you know. But in reality, it's like when you break it down to brass tacks, it's a hobby, it's an interest, it's something that you enjoy doing. So like.
Well, there's also the other aspect of it, because, like, you're mentioning, if gems were cheaper, or if they give more gems, and the whole legend situation. Yeah. But, like, what if, like, hypothetically, imagine if everything was the same as it is now, but they actually make the game more fun to play, the game modes are better, we get more enjoyable content to play, the game is slightly easier, they get rid of damage cap. What if it's nothing to do with legend and monetary, but just the actual gameplay aspect of Treasure Cruise? And if they fix that, what would the game be like? What would the community be like in that perspective? Because I think that would be healthier if the game was more fun to play, because people would be wanting to come back to the game, they log in, they get their gems, then they save for the big banners or whatever. Because the fact that the banners are they are right now, plus the fact we have the gameplay issues, it's just bad. And I feel like if they're gonna focus on one thing, should they focus on the Sugo Fest and the gem issue, or should they focus on the gameplay?
No, that's a great point. It's absolutely a great point. I think that improving the overall player experience is going to keep more people around for longer, and then you can kind of. And I think everyone has more or less accepted the banner system, because the banner steps haven't changed in the last 12 to 18 months. Like, you can, as much as you want to believe, like, oh, things are changing, like the structure's the same, the amount of legends they're releasing is increasing on average. But like, it comes out to individual like judgment call. Like, are you really willing to spend exorbitant amounts of money? That's your decision, I suppose. But you're right. Like, I think that if I can play Treasure Cruise and feel more rewarded in doing so, and like feel like the time that I'm investing, like, for example, the last treasure map took me 30 nav levels to get to the 10 million points. I felt horrible the whole time doing that, because it's a chore due to how the content cycle is structured to revolve around legends.
The TM has the best rewards. Like, it's like it feels bad because you kind of have to do it. You don't want to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think that if we had to pick between like the monetary solution or the player experience solution, I do think that fixing the player experience solution kind of solves a lot more problems.
Because I feel like the money that Bandai are making right now for their global Japan, whatever the fuck version of Treasure Cruise, I think like it's probably fine the way it is. But I feel like if they did fix the gameplay problems, that value, their revenue would probably increase, because you'll have more players coming back to the game.
Definitely.
That's the way that I see it. And also, just briefly, you mentioned about the Sugo structure. That was another thing back in the day that was kind of interesting, because when we got a data download for a new Sugo Fest, it would actually be interesting to see what the steps were, because the steps weren't always the same with every banner. Every banner was kind of different with how they did things. Sometimes we'd have random 1-gem multis in there. Sometimes we'd have like a random bunch of discounts in there. Sometimes some random unit was like guaranteed. Like, holy shit, that's cool. It's cool to see stuff like that. But now every banner's the same. You know what to expect. So, lost a bit of hype.
How do they go about fixing that content issue though? Because like I sort of look back at other gacha games that I've kind of come back to here and there, and the content's still there. Like, I remember picked up Dokkan every anniversary. I pick up Dokkan again, and there's just so much content to do, so many gems, so much stuff that I can. Sure, the game's completely power crept since the release of that content in the first place, but as a returning player, there's so much to do. If you left the game, say 6 months ago, say you left the game 6 months ago and you came back to the game, Like, what is there to farm? Like, what is there?
Nothing.
What
Yeah,
No, you're
not a
100%
lot.
Right. Nothing.
you
Because
just get
every-
thrown back into a content cycle
everyone-
and expected to sort of just pick it up.
Content cycle. It's the content cycle. That's the problem. Is that that's why you feel guilty as a player half the time. I think that's like the mental, like psychological manipulation. that
Yeah.
These kind of games resolve. At least.
The FOMO.
Like, and this is why things like, as much as I fucking hate Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail and ZZZ and all those kinds of woo-wah, whatever, all those games, is that you are not punished. Even Bounty Rush, for example. As much as Bounty Rush gets clowned on at times, Bounty Rush is actually so good because you just do not get punished. If you want to drop the game for a little bit and come back, that's fine. If you don't want to pull for every character, that's also fine as well. You are not punished. What needs to be resolved, and I don't have the answer to it right now. If you gave me a couple of hours, I could think of it. But it's like, there needs to be some resolution to making players not feel overtly punished by missing, like, for example, what was it? Like, you know, if you don't, like, this recent Sanji Pudding skull. You don't get the skulls in this Kazuna period, which was very difficult to do, by the way. I think I did 31 clears and 50 or 60 assists, and I only just got through box 6. Like, which is already an insane amount of play, because if you think about it, right, every assist is a minimum of 15-minute away, multiplied by 60 or 50 assists. Like, that's a couple tens of hours spent on that alone, right? But if you miss out on a skull, I mean, for an endgame player, not the end of the world, you know, whatever. Like, you're not gonna have a boosted unit for a TM mini boss or whatever. Whoop-de-doo, right? But like, for a mid to early game player that doesn't have the resources to then get that unit, you know, we all have thousands of Kazuna insignia. I know Stump doesn't have any blue tickets, but like, you know, tons of TM tickets, for example, all that kind of stuff. Like, we can go and purchase like these items to go back and fix things, and then that's also part of that whole, like, bringing an early game player in and a returning player. Imagine, like you're saying, you're gonna have 6 Legend Super Evolutions that come out, right? On top of that, you have 6 PKA units that get 5+ as well. On top of that, you have, like, I don't know, with 6 months, about 30 Legends that release around in that time period as well. Yeah. Like, that's so much stuff to miss out on that you are not going to see again for such a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like, such a long period of time. Whereas, like, you know, in Pension Pimpact, like, if you miss out on a character, who gives a shit, mate? Like, you know, you can still clear version 4.1, bloody, you know, masquerade of my ass, you know, the story mode in no.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite one. I love that one.
Baby. That's my favorite
I think I played that one twice, actually.
Like, but that's, I think that, like, and I think it's hard to say it, but it's too late for Treasure Cruise to do that though. Because if you wanted to resolve
I don't know.
this
Like,
issue,
it's a major overhaul.
Yeah, like, you'd have to make it so that it's the meme, but it's like TM has to be available 24/7. Kazuna has to be available 24/7.
It's so much. Yeah, because I mean they need to make this stuff way more accessible to the casual player. Because, I mean, even just like, I help some people out sometimes with their TM teams, and one of the TMs or a couple TMs ago, where like having, like, if you were like more of a casual player and you had the 6+ Magellan, he was like the character used as the captain. He was like super good.
Yeah, he's insane.
But he missed out on getting the skull by like such a short amount on Kazuna.
Shout out to
so
Tony.
Because you fuck up on Kazuna, it then fucks up your next treasure map, and it's like, it's so bad. Like, that whole system is so bad. And you're right, it's predatory. They try and force you to play because if you miss out, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
But why not just like have an extra booster that does pretty much the same thing, but just on a much lower boost? I don't understand why that's such a big, like, problem. Like, say, even make it a 1.1 boost, like a 1.1 times. I don't care if it's super low. It at least gives players an idea of saying, all right, cool, well, I'm not using a not boost unit, because we all get stuck in this headspace of, like, especially with treasure map on that final boss. If I'm not getting like the max amount of boost that I can possibly get, like, I'm gonna sit there and I'm just gonna stare at the screen for the next 2 hours trying to figure it out. And whether you do or you don't, you've still spent that time anyway.
Yeah.
So I just don't see the problem in just making a 1.1 times booster, or have more boosters on the list for players to just go, all right, I'll put this character there, it'll work for a little while, and then I can get my points, and then I'll switch it for a stronger character later. or I'll get to the point threshold and I'll stop playing the game. One of the two.
Because of what you've exactly just said, right? Like, get to the point threshold, you stop playing. They don't want that. You know, if we're gonna really get nitty gritty business, KPIs is the biggest driving point for Trader Cruise right now. How long can you keep a player in the game at any given time, and how can you twist those numbers to go to this fucking CEO of Bandai to say Trader Cruise gets an average play time of 6 hours per day over the course of 365 days in a year? And how can you show those numbers to make it look pretty, to keep the revenue, to keep your game afloat, you know, in general, right? Especially in Japanese business, where if you fail in that kind of sense,
you're done.
You're screwed, right? Like, it's a big problem. So, like, that's the whole point. Like, if I give you more point boosters, you play the game less. Even though, but then you're gonna say, oh, but Papi, fucking, you know, why does the legend give you 2x boost? You spent money on that one, didn't you? You know, so you know there's avenues to it. That's just how it kind of functions, right? So if I give you a bunch of 1.1x boosts, yeah, 1.1 times 1.1 is equal to 1.21. It's not a lot of points, right? But that might save you one extra run, which is an extra 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes in the game, which then lowers your overall KPI or time in game, which then over the course of 365 days lowers the amount of time you play as a whole. As such, it's not good. And
actually, Oh, so speaking of, you know, time playing the game, it's kind of like a side thing, but the login, like, account login streak rewards are just so dog shit. Like, that's just another side thing. I mean, that's definitely low on the priority list.
Yeah,
it's low, but yeah.
But the fact that, like, you know, there are so many veterans. We call ourselves veterans. Or I think they called us, like, I think one time they called us, like, champions. Like, I remember Bandai explicitly called out, like, the old, like, people that have been around for a long time, or so, either way. But, like, you have so many players that have genuinely been around for so long, and have been very loyal to the game for so long. Whether they've played it on and off, or they've quit and come back, or, you know, they've had one account, or they've had multiple accounts, or whatever it is. A lot of people, like, all of us, like, bro, I started playing this game when I was 16, 17 years old. I'm 26 now. You know, like, I was a kid in high school playing this shit. You're old as shit, mate. Let's start with me. Like, you're a kid now. You have a child. Like,
But going back to what you were saying about the treasure map thing, it's like, I get the whole KPI thing, and I get the whole, like, if there's more boosters, it shortens runs, but, like, people just aren't playing. Like, it's forcing people to not play.
You have to
like, how many players were in New World for that last treasure map? It was like...
it was like less than 5,000, I think it was.
Yeah, like, everyone's just going to Grand Line. And it's like, cool, I'll just get my points there because I can run higher point boosters and it's just easier to beat the content.
Yeah.
So then I can, in theory, just get more points and then play the game less anyway. Yeah, and at the same time, like, if you just made the final boss fights easier and less catered to the new character, well, not so much not catered towards the new character, but, like, the rest of the fights catered towards, like, the other rare recruits and stuff like that, it would just give players more incentive to want to play, which then counteracts that argument of, like, oh, you have to buy the characters to want to play the game or to need to play the game. But I understand the mentality of what they're trying to do, but there's also that duality of, like, well, hang on, you can get people to play without actually, like, forcing them to buy shit all the time.
So we had 4,246 people play.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Back in the day, we were averaging 8,000, 9,000 in the world alone. You know, like, yeah, that's half. And that's just. And the funny part is, I don't necessarily think that's due to player decline. I think that's due to people being like, A, TM fucking sucks, or B, I'm just gonna play in Grand Line or East Blue. Because I can, it's going to be more mind-numbing, but, like, literally, in East Blue, you can just press auto.
Yeah, so run the same team.
Press auto. It's going to one team versus all. You clear everything. It's going to take you forever to get the point, but if it's like, who cares? You know, you can get through it. There's no, like, you're not sat there, like, you know, you're not sat there, freaking look at the gimmicks, mate. Oh my god, the gimmicks, mate. Like, I'm not sat there trying to do one turn of special reverse, block orbs, row 3, random character gets blown away, 2 turns, good back. Like, what the hell, man? like at some point we have to really sit there and look at ourselves and be like, is this really like, is upping the difficulty a good thing? No, it's not. It's absolutely not. There's a fine line, and I think that's where like those arguments of like you know, normal attacks only and damage limiter and then the damage cap and all those kinds of things come into play. It's like those are, you know, a term that, you know, I coined a long time ago of artificial difficulty, where it's like we're artificially making this a more challenging experience. Like, what is it? Nick, one of the OG community manager for One Piece Shoutout Cruise, made an excellent point on the Good Great Perfect podcast, like, I don't know, man, like 4 years ago or something like that at this point, where he explicitly said, like, One Piece Treasure Cruise is a puzzle game. And I thought about that for so long back in the day, and I was like, that made no sense to me when he said it. But then when you really look at it, like, you have 6 pieces to a puzzle, and then the puzzle is obviously trying to beat the quest. And it's a fantastic way to think about it. But now, Treasure Cruise is a game about efficiency. How efficiently you can clear things, how you can get a highest point boost, so on and so on. I think this is like where the image of Treasure Cruise has shifted, and I think that Bandai themselves have not shifted with that. Like their approach to the game hasn't shifted at all. They still think that it's a puzzle solving, like, oh, we're gonna have 35 debuffs. They can figure it out, but in reality, it's like, you know, it's not how the game should function. And on top of that, like, it's, you know, take, I think, was it last Super Boss or Super Boss before, the whole Dorian Broggy strat of like breaking the damage cap. Like,
yeah.
The community is very smart. Like, people very consistently think of ways to one up the game and have done so for. I never forget. Remember, what was his name? Kaido 86 with the V1 Kaido idea way back in like the second Super Boss. Where like if you brought V1 Kaido on your crew, popped his special when you enter the final stage, you bypass the NAO because it hadn't been applied before.
You get a free 20% cut. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it was genius, right? And that's what players in the community have done for a long time.
And then Bandai say, "Oh shit, let's fix that. Oh, let's
fix
that. Oh,
we don't want you doing that."
Grey Shield, for example, same thing. People figured out if everyone jumps into the boss at the same time, there's a bunch of HP cuts, jumps out of the boss, the boss is left with 1 HP, someone taps it real quick, you move on as fast as ever.
Well, it's actually kind of crazy if you go all the way back. Like, when did Bandai actually start like patching issues of characters that they released? And I guess like the first major one, I guess, was like that V2 Dofi for normal attacks only, right?
Yeah, NAO was fucked by V2 Doflamingo.
V2 Doflamingo and Katakuri. V2 Katakuri.
V2 Dofi's overkill was just way too good. Yeah, V2 Kata, true. Yep.
Yeah, and then from there, unironically, from there, it was like Brook. They've been trying to patch V1 Brook for like 9 years or 8 years now.
I think people
still figure it out.
Because remember in the Boa Super Boss, you could use V1. You'd run V1 Brook. Sorry, you'd revive, and you'd have to stall for fucking 99 turns.
Yeah, man. Classic.
That was OG. That was so like it was okay. That wasn't fun. Like, let's be honest. But it was just, it's a good memory because like we sit in the Discord, everyone was, oh, who's in? Who's taking the reins this time? The paint, you know, like that was cool. You know, like, and that's always been the community's fantastic role, is that they always break the mold for how the game's not. They change how the game's meant to be played, which is a really awesome thing. But it should not be this difficult to break the mold and change. Like I don't even know if we want to get into damage cap as a whole, but like the audacity. Like we've seen I've literally sent Todd the numbers, like the little number graphics that go up to, what was it, 999 trillion. Like, it's in the game. The event, it's present in the game. What's the value? Especially since you scale these bosses up beyond the amount of damage that we can do.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like I always bring up PKA as an example, right? Like, I think, what was it, level 300 PKA? It's like 11 trillion HP.
Yeah,
I think it is
11 trillion.
That whole like, PKA update is fucking dog shit.
No, PKA was one of the worst updates of the year. I think going to level 200 was fine. I think increasing it slightly is okay. But the fact that you have this massive void of 200 to 300. Where
Like, why do you even have it?
There's no reward.
Yeah.
What's the point? I hit 200, I'm out. What's the point?
Like, and the max boost team can't even like reach these numbers. Like, it's like the most brain dead, brain rot thing ever. Like, I don't understand what they were thinking and thinking.
And then V1 Brook comes back.
Like,
you know what I mean?
And then V1 Brook comes back, yeah. The funny thing, like the booster team could do it this time, but it was anniversary exclusive, so it's like
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
You kind of want to hope so if that happens. But I actually got to 300 for both of them, and the actual drop percentage, it's non-existent. Like,
It barely changes.
Like, it's actually non-existent. Like, I'm not even kidding.
That's so crazy.
Like, how you fix PK right now, guaranteed fix. As soon as a player gets to level 150, you guarantee a Hime.
Absolutely.
Because it's very because I think, what is it? Like, I've been tracking every PKA for a long time now. Not everyone, but I've been tracking a lot of them on Twitter, just like just the numbers and stuff, right? I think very consistently, I'll do between 25 to 30 runs post 150. Very consistently. And that's sometimes very good Zora luck, or very average Zora luck, or very bad Zora luck. If you guaranteed one Hime, and then left a little bit, the rest of it up to RNG, like, that's fine. I low-key actually think the way that they've boosted the new characters is a fantastic idea in principle, but the fact that I have to have the new character to get that additional drop just ruins all of it.
Because when you have it, it feels so good, and then when you don't have it, it's so bad.
I think in my box for a long time there, I had more Himes than I had Elder Turtles, because like if you have a couple of the units, you're pretty much getting a Hime turtle every single run, right? Which is a fantastic thing. But like, if you don't have it, like for example, like in the next PK or the PK after that, most likely I'm not going to have any of the boosters, which is fine. But
you'll love this one because of New Year's, right?
Yeah, this one's be fine. Be great. I'm gonna finish it.
Everyone will love this one.
You know.
Yeah.
But then the one after that, fucking hell, mate. Like, you know, that's a problem. It's those ideas, and I think it actually comes back to what you're saying with the OG TM stuff, right? It's like, imagine if the last 3 batches of units still had like a 5 or 10% chance.
Yeah.
To give you a Hime, right? Maybe like a 5% chance. Let's not be. It's Bandai, first of all. Let's not be too far. Like, if you had a couple of those legends, if you had pulled in the whatever it is, you know, like
people would feel more like feel good about pulling for these units if they're boosted for more events.
With all due respect, if you pull in an end of month banner, you eat glue. Like I'm bringing eat glue back. You know, like there is no end of month legend that has released this year that is good. Period. None of them are.
Okay, hang on. We need to do some investigation.
You cannot convince me otherwise.
What do you mean, bro? The sword legend's heaps good. I love that unit.
That guy sucks.
What about the memories of Straw Hats? We all love them.
Oh,
every single one of them
Zoro. My favorite support.
Like, that was with
Straw
Hats as the after party celebration.
2 months of treasure. That actually was the best 2 months of Treasure Cruise because I just didn't spend a single cent. It was fantastic. All right, let's run through the gambit, right?
Actually, I've already found the badge. I think the Law Beppo Kid Killer was pretty good.
No.
Those units are pretty good for end of month units, I feel.
All right, if you had to choose them or like fucking 10th anniversary Luffy, who you pick?
Well, yeah.
See, and that's what I mean. Like, you are right. I'm being a bit, you know, silly.
Yeah,
but like,
I get what you mean.
It's that idea of like end of month that genuinely has no value, and like whilst you and again, it's like you sound like a broken record.
Shout out to Robert and Koala. That end of month legend is actually
that's
cracked.
That's the most improved legend of the year.
I think
that unit is so good.
I think a end of month legend shows their value like 5 months after their release.
Every legend does, actually. In reality, every legend shows their value a couple months outside of their boosted.
Except for Toby Roper, because that unit's dog shit.
Fucking hell, man. Kazuna got shat on this year, man.
That unit should have come out literally like the Kazuna, like after. Like, should have been like the end of month batch after that Kazuna that Kaido came out.
Right. Yeah. It's so dumb.
Kazuna got pooped on this year. Like.
Like any good Kazuna led. I mean, aside from Shiryu. Shiryu's actually fantastic, by the way.
Actually really good.
We had Tobi Roppo. You had Vegapunk, the OG one.
Vegapunk's good. I like Vegapunk.
S-Snake, Memories Chopper, Memories Brook.
Memories Brook's good.
Actually.
Brook's alright, yeah.
Memories Whitebeard. Yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
V2 Super Tandem Dex Whitebeard. Let's go. I had Shiryu. He's not bad. And then you had Shaka and Dons, which is they're okay. Like
They're fine.
I mean, it's those kinds of things. Like
See that because it's not a game mode that shouldn't have legends. Like
no
Yeah.
game mode. No, with all due respect, I don't think a single game mode should have like everything should be funneled into the end. If you want to release if you want to release 3 end of month legends, but release no other legends across everything else, I think that's fine as well. Like in terms of other game modes, I think there's no reason for a game mode to have a legend associated to it as well. Like when game mode exclusive legends started coming out, that was the steps will start tumbling down the hill. You know, Sisyphus's rock started rolling back down again. You know, and then like that's where you start the negative decline. Like, and I think like, but then on the other hand, I think game mode exclusive legends are fine, but every month means that they lose their value instantly. That's the issue as well. I think we've gone from the meme used to be like, oh, legends are valuable for a month. Legends aren't even valuable for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's really bad.
Like 5 days and that's it.
Literally, like a lot of end of month legends are really good for the peak A period, so those 10 days, and then you never touch them again.
Like I literally didn't pull the new Odin or that Carrot Sulong fucking legend. I'm fine with that. I don't think I'm ever gonna use those units.
Carrot stinks ass. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, Odin maybe has some cool abilities,
could be cool,
but
I suppose, but like Carrot's stinky, and I pulled for them like an absolute jamunk, right?
yeah.
But like, you know, it's the same thing. Even like looking at like this stuff, right? Like again, Big Mom Katakuri, Kato King. I mean, yeah, they have Rumble Super Special. They're pretty good in the Powerhouse team in Rumble. But in regular content, like unless Stump tells me, hey, fucking use these units to do this shit, I'm like, yes, sir. Otherwise, I'm never going to use them at all.
Yeah,
it
no
comes back
thanks.
to one of the big 3 things that Porky said. Like, if it's not free spirit slasher, it's not worth it because all of the other characters that fall outside those classes, they're all like tailor made to the same name. So, like for example, like Driven Powerhouse, you're gonna have 400 good Big Mums, 400 good Blackbeards, and 400 good Kaidos, but like you can't make a team with 3 units.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then you like funnel in some other 3 characters that are kind of lackluster. Where Cerebral is so like niche with like weird characters,
random ass
that they don't
legends,
get like enough power crept love. But like you talk about a free spirit character, talk about a slasher unit, guy with a sword, like they're always going to be like your top echelons of characters. So they're always going to be that step ahead just because they have the popularity. Like Zoro, Mihawk, Luffy's, like even Sanji nowadays, like. If it doesn't fit those requirements, the character's just gonna drop off.
Oh, what about Uto? Everyone loves Uto.
Oh look!
No.
Oh, Yamato.
Don't get me started with either of those 2 rat bags. Like,
So if we get another Yamato for New Year's,
I'm gonna freaking I'm gonna have
they gave us 2 Utas in 2 months. They're giving us a Yamato.
That's crazy.
Like we're getting a Yamato. It's happening.
We are getting a Yamato, 100%.
It's gonna be Wano too.
I think. Again, I keep
years.
glazing Porky, but he's a fucking genius, right? But it is so funny that the anime pause has genuinely ruined Treasure Cruise, and it has shown in all facets of how Bandai runs their game that they struggle to be creative in any capacity because there is nothing that they can rely. Having the anime has been their saving grace for so long because they can just say, oh, what happened to anime? Oh, you know, there's a Luffy. All right, there we go, boys. Chuck a Luffy in there. And then when they don't have the anime, it's like, look at Wano, yeah. Like
it's so frustrating because it's so easy. Like it is so fucking easy to do it, and they just refuse to do anything.
The Memories was actually a great concept. But they just did it wrong.
Bad execution. Yeah.
Right idea, wrong execution is Bandai's nomenclature.
I was actually excited for that celebration because I was like, this is going to be one that it's easy to skip. You're going to have like, I'm a huge Zoro fan, so maybe I'll pull for that Zoro and then I'll skip the rest of them kind of thing. But the celebration around every single one of them, and then to then release them as like Treasure Map Legends and Kazuna Legends, it's just like...
And like half of them were like pretty much borderline useless.
Yeah. They're all useless. They're all useless.
Like, they don't need to be game breaking or anything like that, but like
sorted.
Make them like, all right, I can see myself using this character in like 2-3 months.
Like, for example, like the whole idea of memories, in my opinion, was like you go back at the arcs. Memories of East Blue. You release like a young Luffy. You release like, you know, you might release like a Shanks, you know, just for some fun. Maybe Orange Town or Syrup Village or one of those. Like you go to like Memories of Marineford. I know everyone loves Marineford, right? You have the Whitebeard. All right, give us TM Legend Josie for God's sake. We're still waiting, man. You know, like do that kind of stuff. Even God forbid, go to Memories of Wano, but give us some bespoke. I think the representation of characters is very valuable. But then again, you're 100% correct. If it isn't a slasher or a free spirit character, like they're gonna get shoved down. Like I think that same team, like the same team that if you want to do a high damage team, it's like you bring the same subset of units every time, and it kind of, you know, Zoro Sanji solves every problem pretty much. Then you bring a Luffy, you bring a Yamato of some kind. You might bring somebody to do, you know, two conditional boosts, and then, you know, there's a trillion damage. Like it's the same rinse repeat team for the most part every time, with little changes depending on like the debuff you need to remove. That's not creativity. That's not puzzle solving. Like if I'm using the same cookie cutter solution every single time, that's where's the essence of what this game was? Where's the creativity? Where's the desire to problem solve? Like Super Boss always starts off as, what do we build? This is so confusing. I don't know what's going on. It jumps in the quest, and then people are like, hey, wait a minute. What if we just do this? And then it's like, boop, there's 400 billion damage. Okay, what if we change this? Boop, there's 600 billion damage. What if we change this? Oh, there's a trillion. Like, you know, and like, that's just how, which is great because you have this iteration process, sure. But like, it shouldn't be that difficult to get to those points, though. You should be able to put a team together, do a lot of damage, have fun with your alliance, which, don't get me started about the whole problems with the Pirate Alliance to begin with. Like, that's what Kazuna was meant to be, the mode where you cooperate with your friends to take down bosses, but instead Kazuna is purely a solo mode, no matter how you want to shape it. Okay, you get a mini boost because everyone's jumped in. Great. What am I doing? I'm being told to jump into the boss. I sit in there for 8 hours while I go to sleep. Then I wake up and the boss is defeated. Sick, man. What great participation from, you know, and community, you know, sense there. It's like, that's also the massive issue with Kazuna. Massive problem there.
There's so many, like, other things that they could do. Like, people have been asking for the longest time, but, like, Forest of Trainings would be cool. Yeah. You know, something like that.
Love Forest.
God forbid, new GARP challenge, right?
Yep. I mean, even like the thing is, like,
I mean, look, I don't really give a fuck about GARP challenges all that much, but I know a lot of people love their GARP challenges.
I think it came second in the awards.
That's wild.
As the favorite game mode. I think
it comes back to that same thing we spoke about earlier, where it's like there's content to play if you come back. Like if you released 10 more GARP challenges in the front time frame that
and keep them permanent, just leave them there.
Yeah, and they're just there. Then I can come back as a player and go, "Hey, this was new last time. Let's play this." Like,
and like the GARP challenges are not super difficult. They're like mid-level difficulty that you can run whatever the fuck you want for, just about.
And
it's really cool.
Completing content and having that satisfaction of, oh, hey, I remember what I'm doing. I'm beating something within the game. Gives you that, oh, look, that's fun. Let's see what else I can do. And then you go diving into the rest of the game as well. So, and I guess like that's there for a newer player in a headspace in a like a, I don't even know the word. Like it is there for new players, but for like returning players, it's not. So you like leave the game and it's like, all right, well, I'm done, and then there's no incentive to just bring them back.
I could not fathom being a new player. No way.
Why would you play this game?
Imagine you right
but
now.
not for the content reason. Not for like the looking at the game and going, oh, like there's a
for the art. Yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Dude, like, that's with everything that's been around for 10 years. I think it's more the fact that you try and dive in and you try and play something that's there, and it's so goddamn confusing because there's so much going on.
Like I've had friends that like, I've got them to try. Like I've said like, okay, here's my account. Like here's the quest you have to defeat. Like, I'm not going to tell you what the quest is. Like, it's fucking Clash Mihawk, for example, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You just have to do it yourself. You fail because there's so many mechanics that we just know about over time. We know how to handle it. And that's not about... And obviously, we have fantastic resources, right? Like, shout out Two Shanks for maintaining the database, and obviously, you know, Solaris for maintaining it for so long as well. Like we have this excellent, and we have so many content creators that do amazing things and release videos and all the content, which is awesome, right? But it's like, I don't think that's how a game or a community, that's not how it should function. I should be able to jump in as an individual and figure everything out myself. I shouldn't have to go to YouTube and type in Forest of Training and all, no white beard. And like find a team that specifically fulfills my criteria or some shit like that.
I still like go to Game With for a lot of the older stuff. I love Game With, dude.
Exactly, and I mean like it's obviously good that there are like resources like that available.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it's feasible to expect that a game is going to have like what if Treasure Cruise never had a community that made content? What if we never had Boris step up and like actually start making content on Treasure Cruise, or like, you know, God forbid, people like Zenigami or Atsu or like any of those Spaceman or like Thanklog. What if we never had people like that lead the charge to, you know, bring in a newer generation? Like, you know, you'd never get anywhere with it, which I guess it's a pretty shitty argument to have. I understand that, but it's like the game right now. If you were to ask someone, if I was to give like my phone to my friend who plays video games, go clear Garp Challenge Heavenly Demon 2 with my current characters, it's impossible. Without infinite trial and error and going to a stage, writing down all the blood. Even the problem still exists with Blitz Battle. When a Blitz comes up, we don't know what's going to happen in the Blitz, so we can't prepare for it. So you have people like me freaking doing stage 4. Yeah, like taking notes and shit.
You look.
I mean, shout out to the old Game With streams. That's what they used to do.
The Game With streams. That was so sick.
The old Game With streams were so goated.
It would be like Clash Duval, and you're like, oh, what the hell?
They'd have like a little whiteboard on the side, and they'd be like write down all
the notes and shit, man. Like that was so sick. Like, and that's not to say like, and obviously that's fun, right? But like, it's just so, and not to say like the filtering system has improved.
Yeah,
crazily in the game.
It needed to.
They've done a wonderful job with that.
If you don't know what you're filtering at the end of the day, like
that's the problem. What the fuck is bind?
Yeah, like, you know, what does that even mean?
What does it do? Like, okay, you get despaired, right? What does that mean? Your captain ability doesn't work. Okay, like what does that mean? Like, you know, like, and obviously if you go to the Chopper Help, actually the Chopper Help section has everything's written out, which is really good. But like, there's so many pages to read just to understand. Like I couldn't even, if I asked you right now, Tob, when I get attack, if I gain attack in the PvP fight, how much is that as a base value?
Oh, I don't know the math.
Right?
Yeah,
that's crazy shit as well. It's like for a long time, plus 20 attack you've got. What does that mean? I think actually a base attack is like 100 or 25. It might be one of the two. I think HP is 100, but then attack's 25, right? Or something like that. But it's like
okay.
Like, you know, if this unit does 4x my attack, is that 4x the base attack? Is that 4x my current attack stat? Like, I guess this is a step deeper to say, but it's like any new player, I do not recommend. I never will recommend. As much as I want Treasure Cruise to survive for as long as possible, it's just not. I suck at Treasure Cruise. Like, I can't build teams. I can't do much myself. A, because I'm lazy, but B, because like. It is like I can't build a super boss team. It is very difficult. You know, as smart as I am, I know I'm a genius, right? But like, it is very hard to do that, even as like a person who kind of has played the game for a long time. You have to have a very particular mindset going into these things. And honestly, without things like the TM planner or without things like the database, I wouldn't be able to build teams for content, even if it was using all the in-game filters, because it's still shit. You know, like. It's still very bad to kind of handle as a whole. You have to really like fight to solve problems in this game where it's like that should not be the case.
What about the state of Pirate Rumble? Do you guys think Pirate Rumble is currently in a good state right now, or do you think it's shit?
I like Pirate Rumble, man. I was
gonna say I feel like Pirate Rumble is like probably one of the only things that's actually good in the game at the moment.
Pirate Rumble is great because it is its own thing. It's not the generic 6 crew members fight against.
And it's not very difficult. It's pretty easy.
It's literally like it's very straight. If you want to build like a generic team, I mean, first of all, they have the new filters that auto build stuff, which is they don't do the. I mean, if you want to get nitty gritty, they don't do the best job. But if you're a new player and you say I want to build a sci,
and the panel missions give you all those psi units,
a whole psi team. That's a great start. It's a fantastic place to be. But then you have a layer deeper where it's like, okay, why don't I look at the abilities and the specials? Okay, these are, let's say all this stuff revolves around powerhouse units. Okay, let me filter by powerhouse units and build a powerhouse team. But then, like, I think the issues with Rumble aren't in the actual gameplay. The issues are in how expensive it is to play. That's where I think the problem kind of steps.
You mean like the scrolls, or like the limit break expansions, or getting dupes, or
three
fights for one
matches
gem,
per gem is insane.
Oh, you mean in that fashion, right? Okay.
Expensive, right? Like, Rumble scrolls, yeah, that's also a great point as well. And the fact that dupes don't up your Rumble.
It should give you Rumble EXP. Yeah, that's
like,
weird.
It should give you a guaranteed level. It just should. You know, like if you need what, 9 dupes, or no, you need 12 dupes in a character technically to get all the potential abilities. That in theory that would also max out their GP leader stats and also their Rumble stats. If you were to give them 12 units. But like it's so expensive. Obviously, like Rumble unironically is actually a very profitable game mode because it's so expensive because nobody really plays it. So if you chuck 20 gems in, chances are you're getting 30 gems out. It's just a little bit time consuming. Especially during Super Rumble, chuck 20 gems in, you maybe walk away with 50
back
gems.
in the day,
right?
Super Rumble though, they nerfed it hard. Super Rumble.
And like the other problem is that Rumble is so unrewarding to play as well. You don't get anything from Rumble. You get a couple Rumble tickets here and there, but like to max out your Gatherer Island, take millions, I think it is.
Yeah.
Of Rumble tickets, and when you're averaging about 22 Rumble tickets per match,
it's really low.
50,000 matches you need to play, which is 50,000 gems, which if you want to multiply that by 1.87 again, like, you know.
It is wild to me that there are
so
people out there that have their Gather Island maxed out. It's crazy.
Like,
I
can't comprehend it.
Though, is there?
Was it?
I don't think there's a single global player that's maxed it out.
Global players have maxed out Candy. There's a lot of them that have maxed out Candy.
But like I know, like Coruscant did everything.
The whole thing. He was the first
like,
one.
That, I can't even comprehend how absurd that is. Like that is so much Rumble being played.
Like, I think I'd love to. I need to go look at those numbers again. I think GameWith once had like a full like spreadsheet of like how much everything cost. But if I remember correctly, it was like to get to level 30 on the Candy Towers is like 90,000 tickets each one. I think it is. But then to get from 30 to 35 is 270,000 tickets per tower.
It's crazy.
So it's like, that's so much, dude. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's at least a decade straight of playing that you need to invest like thousands of gems per season. And it's like, that's not reasonable to do it all. I think that's the issue with Rumble. I know, like, Grand Party, again, I hate Grand Party. I think Grand Party's horrible. But,
pause. Grand Party, nah.
Low-key, Grand Party is actually the only game mode that still brings about the puzzle aspect. Because the rules actually matter in Grand Party.
They do. They have been doing better with the rules. Yeah.
Exactly. Them outright, quote-unquote, banning characters by... That's a fantastic idea. It's not done the best they could do. But in that
it's what they should have done. Yeah.
Exactly. Like in the season where they like nerfed, it's great. People use Kaido instead, which is at least the breath of fresh air, you know, something different, right? Like I think that Grand Party is shocking because of day one is horrible. If they fix day one and they made it 24 hours as opposed to like the 8 hours that it's available, I think Grand Party becomes fine. The other part of Grand Party that's a problem is 15 wins for maximum rewards is a problem. All they have to do to solve that is add one
extra day.
That's it. And then Grand Party is literally perfect. They don't need to
Grand Party would be
It'd
great.
Be fantastic. It'd be absolutely fantastic. And the best part about Grand Party is that they do like the anniversary Grand Parties where it's like, here's 10 free wins.
Yeah, just get 10 wins and you get everything.
Like, hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. Grand Party and Rumble are unironically the two best modes in Treasure Cruise, but they are the least rewarding on paper because you don't. Rumble gives you nothing. Grand Party gives you a couple gems. You know, maybe if you get 50 gems, it's fine. But I think that Rumble is just fun because, like, you get to use characters that are kind of unique and different, and you get to build
Correct.
teams that aren't just like right now. Some can correct me. I think right now is Powerhouse still the best team?
In Rumble,
yeah.
yeah, I would say Powerhouse.
That Pizarro, San Juan Wolf.
However you run it, as
you
if you run like Dex Powerhouse, or if you run like Big Mom Katakuri Powerhouse with Kaido King, the San Juan Wolf and Pizarro, those characters are probably the most consistent. Rumble's in actually a really interesting spot right now that like investment matters so much because of Super Special.
That's the problem for
Rumble. If you have the Free Spirit team with max investment, that team goes crazy. Insane. I came up against a team that had...
Oh, with Roger.
And Odin, Kinemon, Dendro. Both level 150.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's
and
gross.
I got destroyed. Proper pooped on. So, it's in a weird spot there, but, who's going to have that?
That's right. That's the thing. Is, these characters that they're giving... Yeah, keep going.
I was going to say, with that, I don't understand why we're not getting more posters. Because posters have just become so valuable, not only for Grand Voyage, not that anyone uses them for that anyway, but for Rumble especially. I know so many people that pull a rare recruit, and this is why I think Rumble Legends just shouldn't exist. Because you pull a rare recruit from the Rumble, you just immediately get them to 150. Because you just if it's an amazing character, you go sick. But besides S-Hawk, there's been no legend where people have gone, all right, cool, I'm going to invest my posters in here. And even still, I only got S-Hawk to level 130. Because I'm posters are so rare.
Yeah.
That if I do this and I'm now behind on posters for somewhere else that I might need them, I'm kind of stuck. So
I also posted Gear 5 Luffy when he first came out.
Yeah, that
just for the Grand Party
right?
purposes.
Just, bink it, and that's totally viable as well.
I think a lot of times Stumps told me to go to put a unit to 130 because just the stat boost you get.
Yeah, it's a pretty big jump.
30 is it's massive, right? But
yeah,
I was going to jump in. Other than tablets, I think Rumble posters are one of the hardest things to acquire, and they're so unavailable.
The PKA, I scream at people. I'm like, if you're a new player, you always
try. Enough. Yeah,
I know it's not enough, but that's what I mean. They're so scarce that's the only place you can get them.
If you're telling me we're releasing 6 legends a month, every legend has level and break 5, so you need 9 posters or 9 dupes per. So that's 54 dupes / posters, and you're giving players potentially 3 to 10 posters a month. It's not looking good, Rev. It's just.
And it's the fact that these characters are coming with Super Rumble Special, but they're only giving them to debut units. Whose fucking idea is that?
That's the fact that they haven't gone. I hope, and I would expect them to at some point.
I hope so.
But Rumble Super Special is actually a really cool mechanic as well because they've limited to only 3 per match as well, which is kind of cool. It pauses the power creep, but you are right. If I see,
did they give Super Rumble Special to the 6+?
No,
they've only given it to free to play Luffy and then the new characters.
They did. Sorry, I think Vivi Becker did. Vivi Becker did as well. They did. I take it back. Let me check real quick, but I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, no, Vivi Becker has a Rumble, Super Rumble.
Yes. Let me check with Sanji Pudding. I'm pretty confident Sanji Pudding did as well.
Sanji Pudding. I don't think Sanji Pudding has one.
No, they did not. But no, I that you are right though. Rumble is in a weird spot because of the whole Rumble Super Special situation. And I think that's made it a lot more challenging to kind of quote unquote.
I think we're just early. It's just early days. Once we get the next anniversary banner, people pick up more copies of these characters, and then people have level 150 Big Mom Katakuri or level 150 Kaido King.
Yeah,
that's when we'll sort of start seeing the value of this, or even actually probably Carrot and the Sulongs. That's probably the first one we'll see.
Oh yeah, true.
What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's you see them more frequently, because they're just a regular legend. I think most regular legends now are actually they're giving them run to super special because I think Uta has a super special too, right?
She does. Every character will get one now going forward. I think.
Okay,
which is fun.
Interesting.
But, also, how do you guys feel about Carrot and Co being the first Rush legend that isn't an exclusive?
It's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's pretty much perfect words.
So do you think it quote unquote breaks the mold because they're more accessible, or do you think it I mean, how do you guys feel about these exclusive abilities as a whole now? Now that we've had them for so long, and they've been so like integrated in everything you do, and like, how do you guys feel about Final Tap, Tandem, Rush, just in general now?
I think it's just a natural power creep. Like it's inevitable to bring them into like regular legends because eventually, like, there's going to be something else down the line. So why tailor gate the abilities just to Super Sugos? But it also then dampens the actual effect because like so many characters have them nowadays. Like, because I think Todd, you did the top 10 Super Sugos tier list.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every single one of those characters has one of these abilities, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
But now when you look at how many like regular legends have like Super Tandem and stuff like that on top of it,
decent amount, yeah.
It's kind of like, well, when are you ever using those Super Tandems or those Final Taps compared to the Super Sugo ones, which are inherently going to be better? So
I feel like they're just adding them to characters just to add more value to, like, if you pull dupes, like, or incentivize people to pull dupes. Sort of, I don't know. I don't know how that would incentivize people, but maybe people get like dopamine hits when they rainbow a legend or some stupid shit. I don't know. Like, if there's such a shitty character comes out with a bad Final Tab, bad Super Tandem, like, I guess people can pull dupes if they want. I don't know. It's just kind of weird, honestly. And they still can't do Final Taps right. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
God, mate. Final Taps got fucked as soon as they released V2 Straw Hats, so they realized they went too far. They tried to reel it back.
Yeah, but they've tried to replicate that, and they still haven't done it right. Like, I saw Verse Luffy won the best Final Tap on GGP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like half of you guys were like, wait, what the fuck does he even do?
Yeah.
But like,
exactly.
It's literally just like a nerfed version of V2 Straw Hats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, why? Like, why is it a nerfed version? Like, it's a higher requirement for a lower damage on a character that came out, 3 years ago now? How old is V2 Straw Hats? 3 years?
Disgusting. Like, that unit is, like, repulsively... Like, at the time, that unit was repulsively good.
Yep.
Like, the fact that, like... I think that's also, like, a big problem, is that they don't know how to toe the line or do any test. I mean, they don't know how to test at all. We already know that. They
either make characters way too broken or they make characters not good enough.
Exactly right. That's 100%, like, 100% correct. Like, you release a unit like V2 Straw Hats, where at the time, you're like, these units are fucking cracked, and then for the next like 6 months it's just like, not even 6 months, that was a year pretty much, where it's like,
pretty much,
oh, I have a free slot on my Super Boss team, bring them in, they'll double my damage output, or not even double, 1.2x my damage output. Like, hello, what are we doing
120% bonus, thank you.
Literally, shout out Rizzy.
Literally just chuck them on a driven team. I remember
I'm running a Kaido team. I have a free slot. I'll bring them.
Just bring them.
Shit,
right? Why not?
You know, and then you release things like the rush mechanic. Okay, Sanji's really good. All right, you have now fucking Gear 5 Luffy comes out. Hello, absolutely breaks the fucking mold. And then don't even get me started. Zoro Sanji. Literally, I think we've argued, or not even argued, we've all agreed, Zoro Sanji is the best legend that the game has ever released, in my opinion.
I think you guys said that on GGP too. I would 100% agree. I think Zoro Sanji is the best character to ever release in OPTC.
And I think it goes beyond the potential abilities. It's just general abilities. Like, for example, the class swapping mechanic. Zoro Sanji was the first unit to do it, and they fucking made them broken as shit. And then they've tried to reel it back now, and they haven't done it properly.
Yeah.
You know,
they've added on
it goes beyond that. There's true. The fact they do both classes is nuts. Yeah. And it's like so many little components, even like just randomly. Their crewmate ability, remove 1 turn of despair for the crew.
See,
why the fuck they got that?
I totally forgot about that. I was doing a video, and I was like, okay, maybe it's only like 5 turns of despair. Like what? And someone was like, Zoro Sanji removed 1 turn of despair as a sailor. I'm like,
and then their switch effect is insane. Why? Like, just enabling every Super Tandem, bro.
No, that's it, 100%.
Like, imagine if Zoro Sanji did exactly what they did, but they don't class swap. Are they still good?
Not as good, but yes.
Not as good, but yes. I think because of the argument of the only units that matter in Trader Crew is a Slasher Free Spirits. I think that argument. They would still be used, because they're Super Tandem. Slasher, though. I think you remove Slasher, and if a unit's Free Spirit, any Free Spirit unit's good in Trader Crews.
Yeah.
I think that's always been the case because Luffy has always been a free spirit unit.
And I don't think there's a place in the game where Zoro Sanji doesn't shine. If you take away the class swap mechanic, they probably struggle a little bit in Kazuna. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But, like, everywhere else in the game, you just bring them for that swap ability, guaranteed super tandem every single turn.
And they got utility in their special. The switch generating the attack and all boost. Then they also buff it with their special. Then they give you 2 insane chain buffs. Yeah. Utility. Like, they just do so much shit.
And that just kind of like continues that argument of. Like,
and they get access to really good supports too.
Exactly right. You know, like it's that argument of like they don't, obviously we all know that they don't test, but like, and it's a joke, it's a meme, but it's a big problem. It is because you don't have people playing the game or playing with these units before they're released to fine tune them. Mm-hmm. So like you either have like a Super Sugo Fest release. Like, look, I'll be honest with you. Like, Anniversary Blackbeard, right? Like, same thing, right? Like, he's kind of good, but like, I'm not actively seeking an opportunity to go use him or whatever it is, right? Even like things like Roger and Odin on paper, far out that unit looks cracked as hell. In reality,
I hate that unit.
They're okay, like, you know. So all these units that cost a lot of money for a lot of players, like, you know, I think the only celebration where all the units have been really, really good that they've done quite well with was the recent 10th anniversary. As much as like I love clowning on Shanks as a unit, like he's actually really good, and all the 10th anniversary units are actually all really good quality, like legends in their own right as well. Especially Ace, far out. That Ace is such an incredibly good unit. Like
free spirit.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Case in point, right? Like it's just one of those things, right? But then it's like then you have other situations where it's like V2 Film Red Shanks or V2 Film Red Luffy. Like these units probably could be so much better if they just gave somebody the opportunity to use the unit before releasing it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know too much, but it's like they have avenues to do that. They can easily talk to content creators. They can talk to people. I think the biggest thing is they need people that don't play Treasure Cruise to test shit out as well. That's a big problem. Because it's all well and good to have, Todd, come test this new legend. It's like, yeah, mate, you know everything about the fucking game. You know, like,
sorry, what's a similar slot?
and then the similar slot can become a fucking tandem orb. What's a tandem orb? Oh, well, back in the day, they couldn't have super tandem because tandem was illegal to do because of these. It's like, you know, these all the history shit that it's useless knowledge in my brain, you know. But it's like, it's just. They don't know how to release good characters. Like, I guess that's the caveat. That's the bow on top. It's like the character is either disgustingly powerful or is downright useless. There's never and even if the unit is okay, you're coping at that point. The unit's bad.
Yeah.
Like there's no okay legends in Treasure Cruise. They're either good or they're really shit. Like that's just how it works. So you have that situation there. But I guess even so, they tried to introduce Captain Shift as a mechanic. How do you feel about that?
I actually like it.
You're removing Super Swap. You're bringing Captain Shift into it now. Like, what's the kind of go there? Like, do you think it's a good direction to take in that kind of regard, or what's the vibe?
I don't know if it's a good direction, but I think as a veteran player, I think that's a really cool mechanic. But I can definitely see it as, like, in the perspective of a new player, mid-level player, it can be really confusing. Like, that treasure map that came out with the Kaido Big Mom and or the Kaido King and Big Mom Katakuri, that was such a confusing fucking treasure map, man, with those Captain Shift characters. Holy shit, it was very confusing because the gimmicks were just super stupid. Like, you had to like make sure, you know, Big Mom was the captain at a certain time so you didn't get blown away and stupid shit. It was really dumb. But I kind of dig it. I mean, because I'm not a big fan of dual units personally, but like this is like a really interesting way to like pivot dual units out of the captain position. And like put other characters in the captain position that get access to like super classes, EX supers. They can only be used as a captain, or even captain actions if they bring out more of those in the future. Being able to captain shift certain characters to get access to mechanics like that, like I think that's going to be really good for a character like the sword character, because that character's got a busted ass super type, but the character's captain ability is dog shit. So being able to like use it as a captain just for the super type and then being able to switch it out to a different captain, I think like stuff like that, you could do some really cool stuff with it. It's just that we need like more characters to kind of abuse that kind of mechanic, I feel.
I agree. I'll play devil advocate here. I love that treasure map. I thought that treasure map was so much fucking fun because it was so different. But I agree with every single point that you made. Yeah. One, it was very confusing until you figured it out. Two, a new player or a mid-level player looking at that would just be so like bombarded with like what the fuck is going on. But exactly what you said, having the ability to just captain shift out, bring in another character that's got a really cool super type or a really cool ability. Like I was doing stuff with like
utility,
Carrot and Wanda. Because they give like the cooldowns on turn 3, so you switch them in, get all the cooldowns, and then switch them out and go like, "Oh fuck you," and then just have like a really strong captain like Roger, Rayleigh Gaban, or Odin, Kinemon Dendro, or even have like the Sulongs that just bypass the defensive effects. You switch them in, just bink that stage, and then you switch them out. I think it's a really cool way to change the dynamics of how we play. Plus, it gets rid of super swap, which I think, whilst super swapping was like strong. Besides in a boosted meta, you're either bug stalling or you're not using it. Like
it's such a pain.
It's so frustrating. By the way, I've been like this whole time we've been talking, I have been trying to beat this fucking Wapple event, and oh my god, talk about the difficulty.
I was gonna say I did see it. I don't know if I saved it or not, but I did see the JP tweet with 2 teams to run it with. So I can find that later. But
farm some Colosseums.
Yeah, facts though. I guess like I don't know how much more there is to kind of discuss. I think
there is one other thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like another more positive thing. I kind of liked the most recent Grand Voyage. I think that was a really good step forward. Yes. If they're gonna make more Grand Voyages, they need to be more like that.
Absolutely, that was actually I actually enjoyed that Grand Voyage.
Like it wasn't stressful really.
But even at the start when I was trying to figure it out, I was like, damn, this is actually like. This is hard. It reminded me a lot of the Usopp one, the one back at Syrup Village, where at the beginning we were like, this is hard content. Like who do we bring? And then we're like, oh shit, we have to bring like Kizaru. That guy's like a PvP legend. What the hell? And then we're like, oh, actually, you don't need Kizaru. You can brew this instead. And then it was like, oh, you can do this instead. But I think Papi said it as well. It still came down to the same conglomerate of characters, which is a little bit of a problem. But at the same time, like, I think they've taken a massive step in the right direction.
It had more flexibility.
Yeah,
like it had, like from what I've seen, like I haven't tried it yet, but from what I've seen, I haven't tried any Grand Voyage to be honest with you. But like from what I've seen, there's like a larger conglomerate of characters can clear it, like which is good. If there's like 20 characters that can clear a Grand Voyage, that's awesome. Grand Voyage is ages ago when you guys were talking about Garp challenges. I wanted to jump in and say like if Garp challenges is meant to be the mid-tier difficulty, Grand Voyage is meant to be like the echelon of like. This is the hardest content in the game, right? Which is fine. It's good to have content that is really challenging, but not artificially challenging by having to have 6 specific units that are all maxed out to the gills. That's the wrong way to approach it. But the recent one is a great way to approach it. You have 20 characters. You can sub a few characters in and out. Like, there is flexibility. That's what Grand Voyage should be about.
And the thing with this one is it, I think the intended team needed to use the level 12 Zunisha ship, but there was teams that didn't have to use that, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I actually I used a team where I got ship binded on turn 4, and I still just killed it on the final stage with ship bind. My ship was just binded, and I was just like, cool.
Like, that's great. That's well done. I think that's a really good way to approach it, and I just hope that like we get more Grand Voyages, because more Grand Voyages means more level limit break posters, means more gems, more bounty, more rewards. But B, if we are going to get them in these less frequent time frames, like just make sure that whenever they're released, that it's still somewhat achievable by a larger subset of characters, and so on and so on. That's a great. No, I agree. I think this Grand Voyage was actually really well done. It's Grand Voyage is such a hard, like, Grand Voyage is such an easily memeable thing, because like Yoshi was like, oh yeah, Grand Voyage, use your old characters, blah 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 blah, and then the actual approach was like, you need V1 Jinbei 6+, level limit break 5, 150, fucking 560 candy. Like, it's like, damn, bro, what? Okay, sick, dude. No,
that was another thing about this one too, is there wasn't too much investment that was needed. Like, you didn't need limit break expanded 150 characters. Like, it helped, don't get me wrong, definitely helps, but like, I think the first time I cleared it, my Black Maria ulti was like level 105.
Yeah, it reduces error. Like, it gives you more space to human error.
Yeah, like, I fucked up even, like, on my run, like, where you had to have, like, a bomb slot to pierce the barrier. Like, I fucked up my taps, and I ended up, like, having to tap with all 6 of my units and I still was able to clear that stage even on like level 5. It's like that you wouldn't do that on the other ones. Like
Yeah, no,
where you needed like the specific like investments to just get over the line to kill them. Like that shit was so
barrier
stressful.
Pan, with like that Kuzan one, we had to like hit with Kuzan with a specific stat just to break the barrier. Yeah, nah.
So
like
dumb.
I always like clown on Stump. I'm always like release Grand Voyage content because of the Chopper Man missions, the premium one, not premium ones, the challenge mode ones. Because you need level 3, right? And I mean, I say it selfishly because I haven't done a lot of them yet, which is good. Plus, for those that don't know, they have an unlimited CMM where like for every single Grand Voyage, if you clear it once, you get like I think it's like a gem, but 5 million bounty. So there's a lot of bounty on the table right now that's available, which is really good. I mean, not always really good, but I guess Devil's Advocate, it's kind of nice.
I still can't beat the VV Grand Voyage because I don't have that one support rare recruit Robin.
Yeah,
you still have that. You still don't have her.
Nope.
That's wild.
Like I think the hard part is that like it's so hard to make content on. I guess that's a good thing to end. I have a way to end this conversation with, but I guess we'll jump into content with this kind of segue. I suppose like it is so hard for people to make content on Grand Voyage because the teams don't change. Like and it's like you can re-release videos, like that's fine. Like maybe change up slightly, but like it is so hard to make content on Grand Voyage. Because like it's still the same 6 units. Nothing like there's been no breakthrough a lot of the time. Like maybe sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room, but a lot of times it's not. But I guess like because you two still make a lot of content on Treasure Cruise, how do you guys feel about that going forward for next year?
Grand
like
Voyage.
just in general content for Treasure Cruise.
Yeah,
like, do you think it's gonna be the same kind of videos?
It's really hard.
Like.
Like, I still haven't even released a showcase for Odin, Kinemon Dendro, but I'm just like, at this point, I'm kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so far gone from the
like
character's release that does it really matter?
That.
It's irrelevant now. Like, it's not evergreen. There's no evergreen chip.
And even still, like, I'm a culprit of, like, if I don't pull the unit from the release, because, like, I think you do it too, Todd, with you. Once you pull the unit, you'll do a showcase video.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the motivation. Like, I'll just, like, I pulled Otama, Reiju. I actually did a discount on the Vega lads and pulled Whitebeard, and I'm like, they're still sitting in my box level 1. Yeah. It's like, okay.
That was like me for the longest time. Like there was like so many new legends I pulled from these tickets, and I just like didn't even level them. I was like, I don't need these units. Why would I level these characters?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because even like a year ago, like if I pulled a new legend, even if it's a character I'm never going to use, I would still level that shit up straight away. But like these days, I'm just like, I don't need to do this. Like a lot of the time, I'll just log in the Treasure Cruise, I'll do my dailies, I'll do my daily Rumble stuff, and then I get out of there. And then I'm playing something else because I just cannot be bothered.
Here. I think that if people are watching this video and are concerned, which I doubt they are, I don't think anyone here is like actively going to quit the game. But I think everyone's kind of mentality has very much shifted in the last like 9 months. And like, I don't want to gas us up at all, but in my personal opinion, which is kind of biased, I think you have the big 3 right here. Like, I haven't got much of a YouTube channel, but like, I've got a big presence regardless. But I think you have the big 3 right here, and like, we're doing everything we fucking possibly can to keep hammering Bandai
it's
to do
tough,
shit with
man.
this, you know. So I guess like for you two though, like, do you think the cadence of content's going to keep up? Do you think the content you're going to make is going to change? Like, what's? I know, Todd, you've slowed down a bit, but you've actually got other stuff which is really cool to see. Stump's completely shifted in terms of just like, fuck it, I'm just going to record my screen and actually upload the videos as is.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
Which is really cool.
Well, like I said to you guys when I was trying to set this up, this is the first time I've sat down on my PC in like 3 weeks. So.
Oh, don't worry, we know, mate. We took forever to film this video.
Yeah, you love my thumbnails, boy. So I'll start paying you. 50 cents a thumbnail. Send it to Captain Papi.
No, like it's it's so hard to make content, and that's why I like, you know, like differences aside, like that's like Chaozu was great because he actually would do things out of the status quo a lot of the time, but even he's quit because like nothing's changed. Subconsi, I mean, I think he's gone on to do other things, but it's like Subconsi was the best. I think Subconsi was the pinnacle of Treasure Cruise content creation. He was just so smart.
Yeah,
but
even then, it's like those videos where you see like breaking the chain when like a chain character would come out, or he'd do like I remember when Dofi, Sugar, and Perona and Moria came out, he did a video like how many debuffs can we apply to the enemy.
Yeah.
And he had like a counter going like that. That was like interesting OPTC content.
Yeah.
Like, and then even like for example, streaming the game is I don't think I'm streaming the Treasure Cruise ever again. Even Sugafest, like I just like.
I mean, I'm gonna be streaming on Christmas morning when they announce the new stuff. I'm gonna wake up and.
Cooked, by the way.
That's
It's gonna.
That's 9 p.m. for us, Stump.
Right, yeah, because like I remember, because I think you said like what the hell, it's coming out on Christmas, but I'm pretty certain it's been like that for like the last since Roger and Odin. I remember waking up on Christmas morning and like 11
I don't remember what they did for Roger and Odin.
And Roger and Odin was like there in the game.
I feel like the announcement's always been like the day before. I don't know. I feel like it's always been, I don't know. Having it on Christmas Day feels a bit weird.
I know that, well, it's been different since I've been over here, but I remember like V1 Roger, I remember was announced on Boxing Day because that was when Flame and I did videos.
Yep. V1, the Psy Roger.
The Psy Roger.
Nah, that was Christmas, dude. I'm confident because like I wasn't big.
I remember I was at a Boxing Day party when my video went live for V1 Roger.
Hang on, let me.
But then again, he might have been revealed the day before.
I'm pretty sure the reveal was on Christmas morning for him.
Yeah, I think you are right. I think you are right. I think he was revealed on Christmas Day.
I think.
Yeah.
Because I didn't, because everyone's like the leaks for V1 Roger, the leaks for V1 Odin. I wasn't big in the community or like even like a person in Discords. I had no idea that shit was coming. No idea.
Yeah, it's fucking gas.
And I was going crazy. Like,
I still remember messaging Todd, like, is this true? And he just didn't respond.
They literally specifically told us in that Discord, they're like, do not respond to anything in regards to this image.
Your video where it was like, yes, it's true. And then
I love that. That's like your magnum opus. That's such a good video.
But see, like, I watched that and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I had no context until everyone was like, yeah, we knew this was coming. I'm like, oh, I didn't. This is crazy.
I think though, like, it's just so hard to make, like, to stream the game.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing to do. Like, I would love to. Like, I love talking, as you guys are very aware. Like, you know, I'd love to stream Treasure Cruise and like sit and farm and like progress my account. But it's like, what? I'm gonna farm turtles for 2 hours and try to keep up a conversation with 4 people in chat. Like, it's not reasonable in that kind of sense. On top of that, it's like, what? Are you gonna make content on another TM, on another fucking GARP challenge video? Like, you can obviously, like, you can. I'm not saying you can't, and I implore people to do so. I want more people in the community making content. It's a fantastic thing to do. Like, people that we put in the award show this year, like Ome and Happy Days, like they're excellent examples of people that have just jumped in and started doing it, which is awesome to see. But you can only people like yourself, Todd and Stump, like, you can only make so many fucking GARP challenge videos until your brain goes numb. You know, where it's like you can record it, sure, but you're gonna be happy with the product? Like, most likely not. But like, it becomes very challenging to continue to like make content and want to be actively involved in those kinds of facets of the game at every single time. Like, it's so hard to want to keep playing, but like at the same time, like, you also do want to keep playing because after everything we've said, we all still love Treasure Cruise, right? Like, that's why we say so much.
That I think another aspect of it, which is a thing that people don't see, but Stump can also attest to, is like the Bandai Discord that we're a part of. We give them so much goddamn feedback. It is crazy. Feedback coming out of our ears. Like, just so much. And it's just the fact that it feels like we give them so much information about what needs to be fixed and nothing really gets fixed. And I know that it's not the people in the Discord's fault. It's just the devs and the producer about like what it's up to their discretion in terms of what gets fixed. And I guess another thing about it is that like people think that, you know, we're a part of this Bandai server and we get like information beforehand. Bitch, we have not had any leaks information for like over 2 years.
Yeah. I still nag Todd from time to time, be like, anything, he's like, fuck no, dude. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
They don't tell us shit.
We sit in a Discord call together at the time of Twitter's release, and we read it at the same time as everyone else.
Literally, we all find out information at the same time, which is cool. And whatever, but like,
it is upsetting because like I literally sent the person who we are in contact with, I sent them a message saying like, hey, you know, if there's any opportunity come around New Year's time, I sent the message like it was around August. I sent the message or something. And I'm like, if there's anything that comes up around New Year's time that like us guys in the Discord can help promote stuff, like that would be cool because we've done it in the past. I even gave, because it's a different person who we talked to, because obviously we had Yannicka and Nick before.
Yeah.
So I gave them all this like all these links to all the previous videos that we'd done before, and they're like, oh, this is really cool, we could potentially do something, and we had nothing. So
yeah,
it's really sad because we want to help and we want Treasure Cruise to be successful, and it just feels like they're not doing the things that they should be doing.
Hey man, fucking, you know, my Twitter, like, fucking, the last 7 days I've had 200,000 impressions on Twitter. And
hell yeah,
all of that is to promote Treasure Cruise for the most. I shit on the game a lot, but like posting the news and all that kind of stuff, like it's all there to support Treasure Cruise being as successful as possible. Like, because I don't get any fucking kickback. I don't give a shit about that. But it's more like you've been around for so long, you want things to be better, and that's why we nitpick. I mean, like we feedback. Like, I mean, literally, all of us are here recording another video that's been going on for over an hour and a half now, right?
Oh wait, was
like,
that meant to record?
I'm gonna fucking kill you. I would actually actively never talk to you again in my entire life if you never hit record. No, like, you know, I uploaded an hour and a half video. Thump uploaded like a 40-minute video. Todd's uploaded 2 videos.
I'm gonna link
like
Pappy's video in the comment in the description. If you're gonna watch any video, go watch that video. That video was very well constructed and
it was
very
a lot more constructed than anyone's put out. That's for sure.
It was like, all right, here's the problem, here's a fix. Here's a potential problem to that fix, but this is what you can do instead. Very well.
The reason why I did that, I'm not going to bring up their name, even though their name's been brought up in this video before. But like, somebody from Bandai exclusively said to us that the community is very good at coming up with the problems, but not good at coming up with the solutions. And I've taken that to heart for the last like 6 years, and my whole life has been changed by that. In the sense of like, when I come up with a problem, if I'm going to point out a problem with anything in my life, I have to have a solution to it. And that's the mentality of Treasure Cruise that's gone forward. It's like, okay, it is so easy to shit on the game and be like, Sugo Fest suck. It's okay, but how do you fix that in a realistic sense? You know, and that's what we've provided that on exorbitant points. How many times I inundate StumpD DMs, being like, "This is fucking shit. Here's how you solve it. Please pass this information on." And he's like, "Okay," you know, like, and it happens all the time, right? But like, it's because we genuinely care about this game, and we're all so it's ingrained. It's literally Todd's full-time job. Stump makes fucking, you know, half his paycheck comes from it as well. I'm just a guy, but like, you know, we all love the game so much that like it's become such an ingrained part of our day-to-day life. Like, my life, genuinely, as cringe as it sounds, like, it revolves around 2 p.m. Australian time, news o'clock, and then you go from there. And then, you know, reset o'clock is 7 or 8 p.m. And you know that, like, the day end is at, like these things just exist in your head because they've been so ingrained in your life for so long. And I don't want Treasure Cruise to end. But at the same time, if Treasure Cruise needs to end for a potentially better, modernized One Piece gacha game,
I'm all for it. I'm all for it
as well. Like, I hate the EOS train. I hated that era of everyone shouting EOS.
Oh yeah,
I think
bad.
It's the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life, and like I think it's kind of just like, you're a wacko. And with all due respect, if I can get on my soapbox real quick, half the community doesn't know jack shit about business or money or finances or how to run a product or how to do the best thing possible. Everyone is just very selfish in terms of their solutions. Like, even with that mentality, if Treasure Cruise has to end for something better to come, I think that that's also fine as well. So I just hope that 2025, I guess, okay, this leads us into the final part, I guess, of this video. 2025, what is something that you want to see occur with the game that will keep it around for a little longer, or keep you playing, I suppose, for a bit longer, aside from obviously, like, you know, sunk cost fallacy and that kind of stuff. But if you had to pick one thing or a couple things that you, I guess demands, I suppose, for lack of a better word, what are some things that you guys would really want to see come out of Treasure Cruise in 2025?
Ooh,
it's a hard question, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, this is one thing I've wanted since the mode has been released. Why can I still not play my friends in Pyre Rumble?
Oh yeah.
You know what? I think that is like that would be so fun. And the thing is, they can do that now because they have the co-op system. They just need to add that password lobby system into Rumble. And I've said it a million times as well. I will host a massive Rumble.
It would be so much fun.
Tournament would live stream it. Would have commentators. I would put money towards a prize pool as well. Like it would be a massive community event. I agree with you. That
would help out a lot.
It would be so fun because then it adds so many facets to things, right? Because then it's like now you can test Rumble teams. Hey Stump, put up this Rumble team, put up this defense team for me, so we can test this team out, see if it's good or not. It would give you opportunities to like wager friends and have fun and like in Discord calls. Hey, versus me Rumble, dude. Like let's play. Like you could so many content. You could do a whole content creator series of like Todd versus the world, and Todd just goes up against a bunch of like friends and content creators in Rumble and like tries to like it.
You just jump, you just jump on stream and you just like put the code up and you just like see
somebody jumps in and
get against
your battles. Yeah,
and if they lose, they get banned. Get out of my stream chat, peasant.
So that would be like one thing. I think that's one thing I wanted for a while, and I think kind of an extension of that in a way is like I want more alliance functions.
Yep.
I want more things to do with alliances, more interactions with other alliances. I think that also needs to change. I think everyone asked for it, but I would really want clashes and arenas to come back. I really enjoy those.
Representation needs to
more free-to-play units for sure. Yeah.
Just I don't really care how they kind of come about. I do think arenas and clashes are like obviously fun because it's like it's a game mode to play, but like just more abilities to get more free-to-play units to bolster boosted lists, but also just like it's a great opportunity to give representation to characters that don't have a lot of units. And I think like I made a point of it, like story mode, for example. I don't give a fuck about story mode. But like if you release free-to-play units that have really bespoke support abilities, and they can attach to those like offshoot units that exist and stuff.
Or even like Fortnites. We had some weird-ass units in Fortnites.
Yeah, exactly right. Like
shout out to the support Vanderdecker.
Golden unit, cracked unit in reality, right? But that's what you need, right? Like you need those weird ass units to exist. Like when's the last time we got a Neptune?
Oh shit! Like a TM rare recruit probably.
Like that, you know what I mean?
Nah, it's that rare recruit from Shiroshi Humanitarian Batch.
Like we're getting so many damn no, actually, to be fair, we're not a lot of Shiroshis, but like those kinds of things, right? Like if you release a free to play Neptune, then let me attach it to the Shirahoshi, the Riviere waifu unit as well. Like, open up a couple more doors there to make that unit potentially more viable. I agree. A lot more free-to-play representation just needs to increase like tenfold. Like,
and my final thing would be just like I want more interaction from Bandai. Like, I want to help them like promote stuff. I want to do more YouTube videos with them because while it is a lot of effort, it's also like really cool to work with them. So I just love doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, those would be the things that I would say. I would love to see more of these things in 2025.
So Rumble with friends, free-to-play representation increase, and further interaction with Bandai. And that's not to say that
and like, potentially more alliance functions.
Inline functions, and that's not to say that Bandai hasn't done a good job in the last 12 months with communication. The corporate monthly
community
has been
ones,
fantastic. Like, it's really good, but like nothing. Like every single tweet they put out is just a scheduled tweet. The co-op tweet that came out today from the global account was a generic co-op tweet. It's not a generic co-op though. It's a specific Warpool candy farming event. The JP Twitter put out it.
And it sucks. I'm still banging my head against the wall trying to beat the fucking thing.
Don't even fucking bother, mate.
Then again, I feel like if you're managing the social media for a Japanese company, I feel like there's a lot of strict guidelines you got to follow. So you got to you can't be too creative, I guess, in a way with the Japanese SNS, which is kind of not like the Western media where you got like the Wendy's Twitter account, which goes crazy.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I like those. Stump.
I think breaking away from the content cycle is probably the only thing that I can think of that I would like to see as a big change. I don't know how that works and that, but I think I've just been so ingrained into the endgame content cycle for so long that I've just become a part of the runnings, I guess. On I can resonate with a lot of the points that we talk about all the time. But then again, I don't really have too much of an issue with the current standing of the way I play, regardless. Like we did the last treasure map. I didn't do any summons for like the first time in a very long time. And I actually thought it was okay. Like, it wasn't great.
The team was fine.
If I didn't have the account set up, like, sure, it would have been terrible. But I didn't hate it. Like the last Kazuna we had, didn't hate it too much either. I still sort of found ways to problem solve and create a bit of a challenge or create a bit of the puzzle aspect for myself. But in saying that, it was still so catered towards the ingrained issues of ranking and getting the most amount of points you possibly can, or getting the most amount of tickets. Because I was in the same boat. Like, I didn't even finish box 6. I got the skull and was like, sick.
Yeah, I'm out of there.
I'm done. Like, I'll lose a couple Kazuna insignias. Actually, I think I did a few more runs because like we were just scraping like S rank. So I was like, might want to fix that up.
No,
but
I agree.
Moving, I don't really know the answer to that, because like we can sit here and say it's simple. All you have to do is take away the ranking part, have the event run all the time. But like as a mentality, I'm like, I'm not going to play the game until the ranking's out. Like, why would I?
Correct.
Why would I sort of waste my time doing it otherwise? Which is on me, not on that. But
no, it's a very general statement. Like,
but then it also comes down to the same thing. It's like, give me like a Coliseum that's going to run for that 30 days instead. Have that arena that's going to run throughout the entire time, and then slap missions onto stuff like
that. Was my
If you bring out a new Coliseum, say it's against, I don't know, let's just say hypothetically it's against Orochi, make a mission where it's like you beat it with a Hiyori in the team. It doesn't have to be crazy rewards. It doesn't have to be anything like super like mind breaking. Could be like limit break materials or extra tomes, something like that. But when I sit down and then play the content, I'm going to look at the missions and go, all right, I'm going to try and complete all of these in one run. How can I do this in one run where I'm at in the game? I think Dokkan does that really well. The Pokemon TCG actually does that as well. Like, I'll look at the missions on those solo challenges and I'm like, how can I try and do all of these in like one go? If I don't do it, like, I don't do it. But I still build a weird deck or build like a real funky team that with characters that I haven't used in a very long time. With Dokkan, I'm going back and through doing all those EX missions, and it's like run 4 Patara characters. I'm like, well, let's just run all of like the Goku Black units just for fun. So
yeah, Dokkan does that really well. Where if there's like a new piece of content that comes out, or like even if it's an old piece of content, they just slap new missions on where you got to complete with like weird teams, and then the reward's actually pretty decent on Dokkan. For all that kind of stuff. Like that's actually a really good idea. They should 100% do that, and it's not very hard to do at all. It's very, very easy.
No, I think I was saying, like, it's the exact same as the bat missions in the past. It's very similar on the story modes. Like, I think, like, in my video, I was talking about things like just release Clash Mihawk for 24 hours, and then if you clear, you get 5 gems. And do that once a day, every day. You have.
Yeah, what if it was like clear it with a Zoro?
Exactly.
And get 5 gems.
And then you can go deeper. But I think that you can either do like you said, have re-release a Clash, and they do that, but they're doing like the weird section of the fucking. You don't even see it on the island event. We didn't even talk about the event island page at all. But there's not. I mean, to be fair, there's nothing there. It's nothing to talk about in reality, you know. But like, you have the thing is like because they haven't deleted any of the data, they have all of the quests accessible at all times. They just have to re-release it. So like. Do that, you know, like you said. I think you have one of two ways. You either you take my approach where it's like you make Clash Mihawk available for 24 hours, and then and you don't have to like level limit break the character. I don't give a shit. I'm not using these raid units anyway. Let's be honest with ourselves here.
Yeah.
But re-release the unit for 24 or Clash for 24 hours. If I beat it, I get 5 gems. That's 5 more gems per day, every single month. That's awesome. Or you do the other way. Where it's like you have it for a week, and in that week period, you have it like, okay, Coliseum Orochi's back out. What to do? I have to beat it with a Hiyori unit, And if I beat it with a Hiyori unit, I get a bonus limit. We get a bounty, for example, or whatever it is, right? Like, keep it fresh. You have worked on content for 10 years. Why not go back and utilize it? You might as well.
I mean, even if they didn't want to like do anything like that, what if they were just like, if they don't want to make new raids or new Coliseums, what if they did another Neo?
I'm down.
As weird as that would be,
I'm
it'd still be a new unit because the unit would have different abilities.
Exactly, I'm so down. Run it.
It doesn't require them to make new artwork. It doesn't require them to do new special animations.
I'd be even keen if they just released the exact same unit as a different color, like a different type.
I wouldn't be mad if I had to do raid Mihawk and strength dex quick sight in. Like if you just got 5, I don't give a fuck. You know, this is waste of box space to be honest with you. But like you have everything available. Everything is just so readily available. I think that's the hard part. It's like, you're not deleting data. Information's there. It's all ready to go. Just re-release it. Slap on a couple missions. Bob's your uncle. Like now people have something to do. Right now I'm not playing. You're not playing. Stump's he's technically not playing because he sucks. He can't even beat the quest. Like and I mean that's even another big problem. Like, look, endgame play, he struggling to clear fucking.
I think I know how to beat it. I just don't want to do it the way they want me to do it. I don't want to fucking pay like 6 times of this shit.
Like I think
Cold Quest fucking sucks.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about that. I'm glad we didn't.
Yeah, that's the worst. Pretty bad.
That's the PKA Cold Quest are 2 of the worst introductions to trade.
Again, good idea, bad execution.
Yeah, right or wrong execution every single time. I think if I had to pick one thing that I would want to be fixed in the coming year, I think they need to figure out a way to incentivize me to play beyond the point threshold or beyond the missions. Like PKA is actually a fantastic resource for turtles.
Yeah.
But I'm not touching that once I'm done the missions.
No.
And maybe that is to just put more missions, But then at the same time, I think it's a weird line to cross because then what you just have clear PK 400 times in a month. It's like I don't want to fucking do that either. So it's like I don't know how you fix that, like at least not yet. But I think that there needs to be some sort of way that me as a player is incentivized to continue playing game modes, especially things like TM and Kazuna. Kazuna Super Boss makes more sense. Regular Kazuna, fuck that, man. If I get box 6 done, I skip box 1 and 2 straight to box 3. Like, it's very bad. But I think that'd be the biggest thing for me. That, and I agree with you, Todd. Like, more community interaction. And like, I'm not getting the ban I call anytime soon. But like, I think that more community interaction where there's more tweets that come out, there's more quizzes, there's more what happened to SNS campaigns? Has anyone talked about that yet?
They were the
what happened to
gems,
SNS campaigns? They disappeared. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they were the login gems.
Yeah, what happened to login is like more like
it's just they're not doing anything exciting. It's just the same shit every month.
Look at Bounty Rush, man. Bounty Rush, they give out gems like it's no one's business. They actually talk to the community. They try to be interactive. They have panels. They have like obviously they can do like, hey, I don't know, maybe if you added Rumble like player versus player in Rumble, you could actually do a tournament the same way that Bounty Rush does a tournament. Like you could easily do that. It's very possible. I would organize it for you. Like I think that. Yeah, community interaction remains the pinnacle. And I guess, like, actioning feedback, or at least, like, acting as if you've taken the feedback on. Because, like, they do, like, in the surveys, they talk about, like, oh, please give your feedback. But then I don't ever see any of it actioned or acknowledged at that bare minimum as well. I think that would also be a massive.
You want to know, like, I saw this just today, or this morning. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6, they've had like lots of issues recently with technical issues with the game.
Game sucks. Yes.
And what they did is they made a Trello board that was like public for everyone to view.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So they basically had all the issues and how the dev team are resolving their issues. Something like that that's a crazy thing to make public.
FIFA does that as well. Even though FIFA's still
really
shit, like it's a horrible game. They've done it for the last couple of years where it's like
interesting.
They have an active Trello board that like has like, here are all the issues. Here's what we've addressed. Here's all the update patch notes. Here's all the links. Like, and it's just public facing. And I don't believe Banner should do that or
but it's crazy.
But if I would love for the if they want to release a survey every month, that's cool. But I think at the end of the survey, they should release an SNS, or at least maybe in their monthly letter say, hey, in this month's survey, you guys acknowledge that this was a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Here's how we plan on addressing those 3 key points. at least it kind of gives you as a player an incentive to be like, oh wow, they're actually reading feedback, and then on the contrary, they're actually improving their game as well. But
yes. Sorry.
There you go. That's a great way to end the video. You beat the quest.
Yeah, I beat it without using the. I busted through that fucking stupid damage cap. Stupid fucking game. Kidding. Love you.
I think that's it. I think
yeah. I think the last thing to take away from the video is I actually want to give Porky his flowers because he's actually kind of changed my whole way of looking at the game for someone that did spend quite a chunk of money on it. Super Sugo, I think you said it earlier, Super Papi. Super Sugos and possibly anniversary exclusives are now the new Sugos.
Yep.
Any Sugo Fest character that is not a Super Sugo or a anniversary exclusive, this includes 99% of Treasure Map and Kazuna Legends. Yeah. You're going to have your exceptions, your Nami Karinas and stuff like that, but, you know, they come and they go. They are now rare recruits, and rare recruits are now fodder. And it's depressing. It's actually depressing to think that rare recruits mean nothing. And that includes, Treasure Map rare recruits. I was actually blown away when I was watching the GGP award show that Nami made it into the top 4.
Yeah, I don't get that.
That should have been all Pirate Festival rare recruits. That just straight up should have been all Pirate Festival rare recruits.
Yeah.
And then that's the one exception to the rare recruit rule is that Pirate Festival rare recruits are Pirate Festival rare recruits. But also, I think he said, and I might be saying this incorrectly, but the meaning is, a character should not make the content, or is it the content should not make the character?
Oh, let me find that quote. It's actually a great quote.
It's you shouldn't make a character to promote content. The content should promote the characters. I think it might have been the other way around. Basically, what he was saying is it shouldn't have.
There's been a shift from banners designed to promote content to content designed to promote banners.
That's it. Yeah. So the content shouldn't be so hard that you need to pull the debut legend. Yes, the debut legend is going to make it easier. Yes, it's going to make things smoother, or it's going to give you more points, all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, you should not be in a position where you need that particular legend. And the only game mode that I think that does that well, ironically, is 10-star Kazuna and PK.
Fair. I agree.
Up until, PK pretty much the whole way through. But
yeah.
Treasure Map, whilst I don't hate it, that falls under such a cloud of if you don't run the intended legend as a friend captain, you're not going to beat it. It's just
you're playing the game wrong.
It's pretty much not going to happen. I think the amount of times, and Todd, you probably get this too, the amount of times I get a comment build a team without the friend captain as the boosted legend, I'm I'm sorry, if you don't have it, just run Grand Line. There's no point.
It's not
Otherwise, you're running a non-boosted character that is giving you no points at all, and then you're this team's not good. So, I don't think that that's a good way to go about the game.
Well, they should also have, if in any game mode, no matter what it is, they should always have a friend captain of the booster as a Bandai friend.
Yeah, and then just have it as a non 1.1 times booster, right? Yeah, that was going to be, you took the words out. I was about to say, that would be the way I would look at it. And hell, even make it shit, not limit break, or limit broker for his abilities, but don't add cotton candy, have it at level 99, bare minimum damage number would be fine. And then the final thing I wanted to touch on was New Year's is what do you reckon, 2 days away? I wanted to sort of finish the video on how do you, because the anime is has such a claw, as we've sort of found out on the game. How do you think the best way or your best way to approach New Year's?
It's Luffy Kaku. That's my prediction. If we're gonna do predictions, I think it's a Luffy Kaku unit.
So you're still looking at
Luffy Lucci. Apologies, Luffy Lucci unit.
So you're still looking at anime here because that's.
I think they have. God, I will lose my mind. I'm on a cruise during the New Year's celebration. I'll jump off the boat. I will actually physically jump off the boat. If they release fucking Wano, if they want to release Yamato, right? Sure, whatever. At this point, I don't fucking care, right? But if the whole celebration is centric around Wano again, we're gonna have. Right? With all due respect, I hope the game ends. I hope the game fucking EOS is at that point because
they better not.
Dude, you have this plethora of characters, and it's going to be a Luffy, most likely. It's going to be some sort of Straw Hat.
I'll touch on that for a second, though. The Luffy thing. Luffy has not debuted as a New Year's legend in the last 2 years.
For a long time, absolutely.
So,
since Luffy and the Straw Hats.
I think it's...
That was the last time.
I could see it being a a V3 Straw Hats or whatever as well. That's a possibility. I don't mind that either. Or they go completely left field and they release a new mechanic entirely, and then they release units around that. I'd be pretty pissed off personally if it was a Captain Shift legend for New Year's. Personally speaking.
Okay, well, if you were the hypothetical producer, what would be your character selections? Like best case scenario that like cater to you specifically. Like what would you want it to be?
That's the problem, I think.
I would want Dragon. I think now's the time to pull the plug on Dragon.
That's a great shout.
Dragon would be so good.
I think it's hard because you don't have the anime. So I think the only place you can tap into is Egghead. So I feel
Egghead, it's probably going to be Egghead, Wano, or I could maybe see them maybe stretch out to Marineford potentially. That's like a low chance though.
If you want to do Captain Shift, sure. You have Roger Rayleigh Gaban, Luffy Zoro Sanji. That's your Captain Shift for you. And then you have Luchikaku as the other dual unit. That's how I see it, which is boring as shit. And then maybe, you know what? Even if though you've just released another Vegapunk unit, I think it'd be dope as fuck to have a Vegapunk that has all the the Stellas or whatever they're called, all the Donnies all together as one. So Vegapunk plus the other 6.
But then you can't use all the other Vegapunks together on the same team.
Too bad. But I think that'd be cool as fuck to have a crew unit as well in that kind of regard. But I think that if I see a fucking Kaido or Big Mom, I'm flying to Japan right now. I'm fucking running up.
Well, it's crazy because when we had that Captain Shift like event starting in the first batch, we had Roger Rayleigh Gaban, and Odin was one of the rare recruits. So due to that, I was thinking, I was like, no, they can't. Like Part 3 just can't be Odin, right? That doesn't make no sense. And it was Odin.
Kinemon and Dendro have so many fucking legends in the game.
I actually can't stand the fact they keep putting Kinemon and Dendro in the name. Like
that ruins the unit.
Stop putting them in the name. It makes it so hard to build names.
Kinemon has 4 legends. Dendro has 4 legends. Like we're smoking crack.
That Strength Momo legend that came out earlier this year, that unit is ruined because of Kinemon and Dendro.
Why? There's no need for them to exist in that legend at all.
I think if they try and go down the route of OPTC related legends, but also stem from the anime or the manga, like what they did with Ace, I think that's probably a really good way to go about it. Like imagine if they dropped like the 3 admirals from Marineford, just super left field, and had them like back in their prime where they're like putting the shield up for Marineford, or if they went like super weird and they did like Revolutionary Army units, or even something like Rocks.
No Sabo though. Please.
Sorry?
No Sabo though, please no.
Or they did something like the Rocks Pirates, but they just included like Prime Beard, Prime Big Mom, and Prime Kaido.
That would be cool.
As
I'm
just like
down
a 3 unit.
If they want to release like a Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom unit, do the young versions of them. That's cool. I think that's fine. It's still annoying because it's like a Kaido Big Mom unit.
Yeah, but like it's still it kind of stems into that.
It needs to be a diff. If I see another fucking Onigashima roof piece Luffy bullshit ass unit, I'm also gonna have an aneurysm. Like I don't want to see no damn Law, no Kid, no fucking I don't want to see any of them.
No Yamato. I really don't want
no Yamato. Please no. Even though it's most likely gonna happen anyway. But like, I want to see whatever they release, even if it's a Luffy, whatever it is, be something different. I love that idea of like you have this Ace who came from the One Piece magazine. As much as at the time I clowned on Ace being a legend for 10th anime, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are we releasing an Ace anime legend? Like, it turned out to be kind of cool in a sense as well. Like, it's kind of a unique perspective to take on things.
Yeah.
Like the special animation seems really cool. Like you have something completely different watching like Garp chase.
Oh, we didn't even talk about special actions or whatever the fuck they are.
Oh,
the most useless fucking action special. Sorry. Yeah, fucking the most useless fucking mechanic.
Well, actually, I would love for the unit for New Year's to be the motion character, like Luffy versus Kaido. You know, when you click on it and it plays that video.
Yeah, that'd be great. Remember them?
I love that.
Yeah,
or alternating pens. Everyone likes the alternating pens.
Like, I think that they could take it in so many different facets, though. I think they will go Egghead. It just makes the most sense to sell. Especially because if you have to think of it from a JP perspective, but like I think it'd be dope as hell if they did some like, cause I think what was a really cool promotion they did was the Feast and Foes. I love that idea of like releasing adversaries.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool as fuck to do something similar where it was like, doing a similar structure again, where it's like versus units or duel units or fake duels or whatever. It's like Luffy versus, I don't know, I think Luffy versus
Give us a new NL or something like that.
Yeah, do some cool shit, man. Fucking Hody, bring Hody
Maybe
back,
do
baby.
do like a character concept where it's like Enel on the moon, like.
Yeah, like follow the panel, like the front panel and stuff, like
Yeah.
Like, I think there's so much potential to do a lot of cool stuff. I just hope that they don't just fall into the trap of like Luffy, Lucci, Kaku, Zoro, yada yada yada, which it probably will be the case. But like,
that's a safe bet.
I hope that that New Year's isn't just like 3 dual units that have captainship.
Then again, you never know, right? Because like, whatever we think New Year's is gonna be, it's always like something left field. And like no one predicted the Kaido versus Yamato Nami Robin batch.
Yeah,
that was so weird.
You had, and then the news before the last New Year's, you had Roger Odin v2 Yamato or Do Yamato and Zoro Sanji.
Yeah, no one gets that.
The one before that, you had Kaido, Yamato, Super Tano Nami, Final Type Robin. And that was cool because the Kaido versus Yamato was the first versus unit for like 45 years or some shit, right? Some crazy number. And then, what did you have before that? Before that, you then had
Roger and
Roger
Roger
and
Whitebeard,
Straw Hats.
And then V1 Roger.
Exactly. It's like, no Roger, no Odin, no Kaido, no Big Mom. None of those mainstay legends that always exist.
I feel like they just did all that stuff, right? So we can move past the captainship.
I think Dragon would be so fucking. You know what? Fuck it, Legend Saul. Fuck it, I don't know. Do some crazy shit, man. Like Legend Kuma. I'm down. Run it. Give me a New Year's.
That's
Kuma,
not even
man.
a bad shout.
Cool
I could totally see that.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool too, because it's like if you're an anime only watcher, by the way, here, like that's your own fault. But if they drop something like Kuma, for example, and like that sort of teases what's coming in the anime, but still make it like,
dude, here's an idea for Kuma. When he dies, he turns into a fucking robot or some shit. So he has a revive mechanic or something like that, when he dies, he does the fucking the hungry Big Mom thing where he just like enrages and goes off by himself. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of shit too. I think a Kuma, a dragon would be gas as fuck. I think like units in that kind of capacity would be like super cool. Just like don't do the fucking Vegapunk thing as don't go down and honestly, fuck it. Bonnie Kuma unit would be gas.
I was gonna say, what about a transforming Bonnie? If you know.
That'd be cool as fuck too, man. I'm down to clown. Like
remake that gear change Luffy, but use Bonnie.
I mean,
interesting.
I think you are right. Luffy hasn't been a mainstay in New Year's for a couple years now. I think that's awesome. I think it's actually good. It's actually healthy for the game, in that kind of sense. It's like any of these characters, bro. Imagine if Akuma was fucking the best legend of the game. You know how funny that would be.
That would be so cool.
You know how cool that would be. Or even like Dragon. I think he should be the best legend of the game in that time. Usually, and this is the caveat though, right? Usually, whatever releases on New Year's is meant to be potentially the best legend.
There will be one legend that is there and is going to be like, oh yeah, they seem really cool. They seem like a really good legend. They seem interesting, and then they just uphold the entire fucking year. Like Nami, Zoro Sanji, V2 Straw Hats. Like,
but see, it's always the legend on paper. Like for example, last New Year's, everyone was like Roger Odin's the GOAT, and then Zoro Sanji's like what's up? Hello, it's me. And then V2 Do Yamato's like what's up? I'm also kind of goated as well with the sauce, So it's like, it's just something that I think it just needs to be a character or subset of characters that is not represented overtly, but is also just like a fun, like different. Because Egghead's so vast, they can do and you could even do an Egghead Kizaru if you wanted to as well.
Yeah, if they want to stretch out a little bit, I wouldn't mind a Kizaru for sure.
Like a Kizaru, you could do an Egghead. You could even do a Kainu because he appeared ever so slightly. Is there?
Could drop a cheeky like 5 Elder Stars character.
Hey, fuck it, send it at this point.
I mean,
dude.
Like I said, drop something that's to come, looking into the future.
Fuck it, Imu's pulling up. That's New Year's is Imu versus Sabo.
Just an eyeball.
New Year's, baby.
But
they could.
going back to
Sabo and Bonnie.
I hope they really do this New Year's well, because like if we look
This is
back,
make
the
or
last
break.
time we did this video was it was a co-op series, and I think we just shat on co-op the whole time. But realistically, that was around the time of 10th anniversary, and the game has fallen so far in that time. It's actually like astronomical how far the game has fallen.
Yeah.
In this like 6-month period, with like Memories of the Straw Hat stuff, the 6-day legend span. The content has been very, very challenging. Like, don't get me wrong, like I love the puzzle aspect and the challenge of the game, but like it has been pretty rough for a lot of players out there. So I'm hoping that this New Year's period can bring some sort of hope and light. But Papi does say this every single time we do one of these videos, so I'm going to be one that says it this time. Don't get clouded just because we're about to hit a really hype period of game where, this month is so good, look at this, this is great.
This is going to happen.
It's only happening because you're spending your gems, you're spending your time, which ideally is always going to be that dopamine effect. But just remember that like that won't stem out forever. No. So if you're going to be one of those people that like, the game sucks, I hate this so much, but then also be like, no, this is great when you have the characters, you got to see both sides of the coin.
Vote with your wallet. That's the hard and fast truth of it as well. If you're someone who thinks the game is deplorable, don't pull, don't summon, don't spend money. Or quit. I don't know. We all love the game, as we've said 100 times in this video. We're all going to spend money. So you don't come out asking me like, you guys say this. It's like, no, we play this shit every day, irrespective of how much we clown it as well. So it's like,
I've been playing the whole video,
is, right? You know, so like, you are right. New Year's is coming up. Vote with your wallet. If you really don't want to spend, don't spend. No one's forcing you, right? But like, also ensure that you take everything with a grain of salt, because it's going to be very fun when you have all the legends, fucking full boost, doing a trillion damage in Kazuna. Like it's a joyous moment, you know. But I think we say it every year, but this year I think it's very important, because I think we are teetering the line on EOS at this point now. I think that New Year's, if New Year's flops and does not pull in the revenue it's meant to, I think Global gets cut within the next like 6 months of 2025, 100%. I think that's
especially because the first 6 months of the year doesn't really have like a lot. Like you've got like the New Year's happens, then you got like the global Annie, which is like not that exciting.
Yeah.
And then the next big thing is the big Annie in May. So like the first half of the year, aside from like the big anniversary, there's really nothing.
Yeah.
The second half of the year is where everything is.
Yeah. I think that if New Year's is not pulling the revenue that it needs to, and that's going to come down to the characters that get released, because content is irrelevant at this point until the characters release. That makes it exciting. That's why you will get things like the Yamatos and the Kaidos and that kind of stuff, because they're very popular.
Because everyone loves them, which is annoying.
The top 10 most popular characters.
I think that's going to be the scary part. I think this New Year's, we say it every time, but this one is more so than ever. Treasure Cruise hinges on a good New Year celebration. That's not to say everyone should spend money. God forbid, don't spend a single cent. If you don't like it, don't do it. But this New Year's is very much so where a lot of the game's potential future lies, is this New Year's celebration. But I think look, we've said a lot of shit. We've fucking been talking for, I know Todd's got to go
over 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's been
I was gonna go to bed.
Carissa came in like an hour ago, and she was like, "You're gonna wake up everyone."
Oh, too bad. We have a lot of important shit to talk about.
I know, but I mean, I was getting heated.
Look, man, at the end of the day, like I said before, this is the big three. Whether people like it or not, like we're doing the best we can with what we have, and we've talked for a long time. But I mean, Stump, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on, boys. As always, State of the Game's always fun. As Papi said, we do it because we love it. Sure, we've got issues. Sure, we get heated sometimes. Sure, we get frustrated. I definitely have multiple times to the right people, the wrong people, whoever you want to call them. So if you guys have any thoughts, concerns, let them know in the comment section below. People will see this. Like, they may not watch the 2 hours and 10 minutes, but something will come out of it somewhere. Papi's already made a great video.
Better watch 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah, or else. If you made it this far, comment !Stump.
And if you know, you know. But yes, go check out Todd's video too. He did like a really good breakdown of the year. That was a really good watch too. So if you guys want to see like how the year's unfolded, go check that out too. But like I said, let you know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Drop a like button. Thank you so much for coming on, boys.
Hey, happy days.
Thank you for watching, like I said, and catch you on the next one. Right.
Goodbye.